Oh God, that was funny. All the money for hookers and booger sugar. Good night, everybody. How's it going? I hope everybody had a good night. It's Friday night. Sorry, a little bit late. I had a lot of crap going on. And how's it sound? Everything sound good? I don't know. New computers really still aggravating the crap out of me. No, I don't know. So I hope so. I hope so. Just so we can be clear, we're going to do some. If anyone has anything they want to talk about tonight, if they want to pop it in the chat, anything in particular, any stories they want to talk about or anything, let me know. We'll pull it up. I got a bunch of stories that over the past week that we didn't really didn't talk about. So I'm going to try to fly through a bunch of those and then get into some of the stuff that's going on today and everything. I was screwing around with the Brave browser trying to get that to work today. Boy, let me tell you something. It kept telling me I had to create a Brave wallet, and I kept doing it, and I kept getting the keys. I'm doing this stuff, and I'm trying to connect it, and it's telling me I have to like accept some kind of payment transaction thing, and I'm like, okay, and it wouldn't let me do it. And I mean, I spent hours. I don't know. I guess I boomered out. But whatever, it is what it is. But let's see who's here. We got Flexed. What's up? He says it's just pillow talk without handcuffs. Whatever that means, I don't know, but sounds good. And then Marjorie Smith, hi, how you doing? Catherine K, so great to see you tonight. That's right, Jim and the Jim Somniacs. Philip Coggins, fellow alt-right incels. Well, I prefer to call myself as uh, what is it? A friend, FREN, fascist, right-wing ethno-nationalist or something. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it stands for. I am Bob. What's up? Lisa Etter. Hello. That's Jim Somniacs, our label now. It's either Jim Somniacs or Jim Possibles. I'm not sure. It's up on your business. Yes, all the AI slap should be outlawed. Sure. Everyone says I sound good. Sounds great. What's up, Derek? Taylor, hello. Senglant, what's up, buddy? How we doing tonight? Everything cool over there in the ghetto? So, yeah, so let's do this first. Let's jump up here. We do this. Wait, why is it never want to do the thing I wanted to do? There we go. So, President Trump's tariffs on aluminum have changed things around in a hurry. At this Century aluminum smelter in South Carolina, the smelter is working at just a fraction of its capacity just a few weeks ago. Now it's almost at 100%. That's right, almost 100%. Hey, Daniel Gagax, how you doing? What's up? This opera looks nice, but it really likes eating ram. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not messing with the Brave Bra. I don't know, man. I don't know. I couldn't sort it, man. And I Google, I'm used to it. I know how it's working, all the stuff. And basically, I had to like redo a bunch of stuff to try to get it. I spent honestly, I spent almost 3 hours logging into everything again on the new browser because you got to log into everything all over again, all the different things, StreamYard, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, Rumble, locals. So yeah. I refuse to accept their label as fascist by people who think the best way to fight fascism and get in people's faces demand conformity with the mob. Yeah, I know, but is that what FRIEND stands for? I don't know. FREN. I don't know. Something ethno-nationalist. Maybe it's far right ethno-nationalist. That's what FRIEND means then. Far right ethno-nationalist. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Let's see here. So let's play this video.
Senior correspondent Steve Harrigan joins us live from an aluminum plant in South Carolina. Steve, what can you tell us?
Jillian, President Trump put a tariff into effect in June of 50% on imported aluminum, and that has changed things around here in a hurry. At this smelter just outside of Charleston, you can see they are moving giant vats of molten aluminum. They're going to pour them into mold and then remove the impurities. Now, this smelter was working at just a fraction of its capacity a few weeks ago. Now it's almost at 100%. New jobs also, jobs that often pay six figures. And when you walk around the factory floor and talk to the employees, you find a lot of former military men who are proud to be working now in this industry, like Chris Murphy, who served 2 terms in Iraq.
To do this job out here, you have to be physically and mentally tough. And the military obviously, helped with that. So I'm grateful for that.
Now, critics of the tariffs say it's going to cause inflation on a variety of goods, but supporters say it was absolutely necessary for the domestic aluminum industry. If you can't produce aluminum in your own country, it can be, executives say, a national security issue.
We know that Americans can compete, and we know that American aluminum production will be successful. As the president said, we don't need their aluminum. We need our own aluminum. We're going to produce it here at home.
Boost.
That's right, everybody. We need our own aluminum that we can produce here at home. That's the most important thing, isn't it? To make it here. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember. I remember as a kid going around collecting aluminum cans and bring them to the recycler, and they would recycle those. And yes, none of your business. A lot of pop cans in that ladle. You get like a penny or something per can, if I remember correctly. I don't know what it is today. It's still a penny a can or whatever, but it's got, we used to make all our planes require a lot of aluminum alloys. Well, yeah, a lot of planes do, but I think a lot of the new planes actually use a lot of other stuff like, what is it? Titanium and tungsten, some other stuff. Tariffs help U.S. businesses and workers. It's one of the main reasons for them. If the federal government is small, tariffs should be able to pay for all it needs. This is why Trump is trying to shrink the government. This means no income tax if done properly, plus American jobs. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yeah. And this is highest unemployment rate we've seen since 2021. Disappointing jobs report, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But the vast majority of those jobs that we're talking about are like government jobs. I think they shrunk like 90,000 or something like that, 100,000 government jobs. A lot of titanium, but still most are aluminum. Okay. All right. I believe you. I'm not calling you guys a liar. Nothing like that. And here's a thread that I wanted to get into because I didn't get to it, and I wanted to get to it, so I wanted to get it first out of the way here. So this is about Ilhan Omar's husband, and he's a progressive money man you've probably never heard of. His name is Timothy Minette. It's Omar's husband. He's a white guy, by the way. Strange, right? And Ilhan Omar's wealth headlines, the $30 million net worth, are dominating today's feeds. But behind that story is someone far less visible, her husband, Tim Minette. Not the ex with the bizarre married her brother rumor. This one is far more interesting and far more connected. For nearly 2 decades, Minette has been the quiet operator raising millions, plugging into DC's progressive networks, and eventually pivoting it into a global business venture. No, this isn't her brother. This is I think it's lies. This is some other guy. This is her new husband. This is her third husband. This is her second husband who she cheated on the first with, who is also her brother. Yes, that's true. True. So from poli-sci undergrad New York to moving foundation money at Alliances for Justice to consulting alongside Omar's inner circles at New Partners, he's climbed rung by rung through the fundraising machine that fuels progressive politics. This thread unpacks his rise through nonprofits and campaigns, his deep ties across the progressive donor universe, and the surprising pivots from digital firms to wine to cannabis and impact investing with ex-ambassadors. Yes, this guy has got his fingers in a lot of pies, and one of them pies is a Somali dish called Ilhan Omar. Let's dig in. This is the guy right here. This is him, see? And that's her. Minette first appeared in the news in 2019 when divorce papers claimed he was having an affair with Ilhan Omar. Hey, Steve Hilliard, how you doing, buddy? So nice to see you to join us tonight. Gross. Anyway, I thought that was a good joke, but anyway, somebody did say something I wanted to bring up. I wanted to talk about in a comment and said I should start earlier, that I should start at 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock, that I could do much better if I started at 9, because that way when Joe starts at 10:30 or 11, that it would it wouldn't really affect it, and I'd grow more. I don't know. I mean, 10, I guess I could try to start at 9, but that's kind of cutting it close with trying to get my grandkids to sleep and everything and getting the show prepared and set up in time. And I think I would be late more than anything if I try. I would just end up being late all the time. Is an Omar family reunion an orgy? I don't know. It's possible. I mean, more tales from an at-large representative from Somaliland. Yeah. So, so the first time he appeared was in the divorce papers, claiming that he was having an affair. And even as Omar's campaign was paying him money, both Omar and Minette denied it at the time. So it's Minette. The Minettes lived together for 6 years before marrying in 2012. The filing said Omar, a member of the Squad, a group of far left-leaning female freshman House members, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and 2 others, recently separated from her husband, according to reports. I think just do what works for me. Yeah, I think 10 o'clock. I mean, I don't know. 10 o'clock. I was doing 11 o'clock, and then I moved to 10 because 11 was kind of seemed like it was too late to start for some people, and I don't know. Anyway, so we're working it out, but I'm trying to be regular with the shows and have them almost every night. So I just have to figure out what night I don't want to do a show, because I got to take maybe one night off a week. I can't do it. I guess I could try to do 7 nights a week. You like the earlier shows, to be honest? Well, it just seems like it interferes with other people's shows. A lot of other people stream earlier, and I like to try to jump on with them. Like I was trying to jump on with my friend Dave tonight. He does a show, and I just didn't make it. I couldn't make it to jump on, and then I didn't want to just jump on for 5 minutes like I've been doing. Like Steve says, yeah, you have a lot of folks that stay involved past midnight every night. Yeah, you're right. Okay, all right. Well, 8 nights per week. All right, I guess if that's I'll if the crowd demands it, I guess that's what I'll have to do. No. Jim Love frames and rhythm. Okay, yes, I do. I like Derek. He's good. I hope he's not drinking because I don't know. Hey, Richard Wharton, how you doing? Good to see everybody tonight. So, yeah. So she recently separated. So the 37-year-old congresswoman and mom of 3 paid Tim Minette and his E Street group. So is this like the E Street band? That is this? Are they connected to Bruce Springsteen? E Street. They paid him $230K through her campaign since 2018 for fundraising, consulting, digital communications, and internet advertising, and travel expenses. Can't spell. Oh, okay. 8 days a week is a great song. That's if I'm not mistaken, that's a Beatles song, right? Hello, Lynn. Ooh, I need your new show. Yes, you know it's true. I think I know you from somewhere. Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, I think I know both of you guys. So anyway, Beth Minette is seeking primary physical custody of her and her husband's son, in part because of Tim's Minette's extensive travel with Omar, which isn't exactly part of his job description, the document says. Defendant's more recent travel and long work hours now appear to be more related to his affair with Rep. Omar than his actual work commitment. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. Oh. Dan says 10 p.m. works for me. That's after I'm done with my sports show. Yeah. Mm. Just months later, Minette married Omar, even as Omar had already paid his firm $600,000. Omar marries consultant months after affair claim. U.S. Rep. Ilhan Omar married a political consultant who worked for her months after the two were accused of having an affair, which she denied. A marriage license filed in Washington, D.C. shows Omar married political consultant Tim Minette on Wednesday. Omar announced her new marriage Wednesday night on Instagram with a photo of her and a bearded man smiling and displaying wedding rings. Got married. From partners in politics to life partners. So blessed. Post says without identifying Minette's name. Filings with the Federal Election Commission show that Omar's campaign paid Tim Minette and his firm nearly $600,000. And now she's marrying that person. I think there's legitimate questions about the constituents might ask about whether Congressman Omar has been fully truthful in her discussions of this relationship and the nature of her marriage. I think too, like the Somali community, I don't know. I don't think they look too kindly on adultery. The Muslims, they don't look too kindly on adultery. Then again, I don't know how they feel about incest because she was married to her brother. Hey, here comes Julio with 5 Jim Tells You gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Julio. Is that $30 or $20? I think it's 30. Yep. Let me see here. So Rocky received a gifted membership. Stephanie A received a gifted membership. KZ received a gifted membership. Honey Bear received a gifted membership. And Tracy King, little old bitty bit received a gifted membership. Okay, you think so, Philip Coggins? It's possible. It's possible. Oh yes, we will make an adjustment to the goal here, and I will. I believe that's $30, so that puts us $45 away from tonight's first goal. I believe that puts us away. So yeah. So being married to your brother is frowned upon even in the Islamic world. Well, can't say I blame them for frowning upon it. And way to go, Julio. That's right. So hey, for the 50 people here in YouTube, I'd just like to say thanks. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And participate in the chat. We like to talk. We like to bounce things around, different ideas, talk about stuff. I don't want to feel like I'm just sitting here reading stuff to you guys. I'd like to have a conversation. Hey, Pat Hacker, how you doing? Nice to see you tonight. But yeah, so maybe not brothers, but cousins are fine. Oh yeah, that's real bad. Cousins. That's like, if I'm not mistaken, there were studies on this with the Pakistanis in England that have emigrated to England, and like IQ levels, and showing that how like the effects of marrying or having relations with first cousins, it like drops your. I mean, I don't how to put this without getting in trouble. It lowers the bell curve on the IQ. That a good way to put that? Congresswoman Omar has been fully truthful in the discussions of this relationship. Has she really? Well, that's ageist. I don't know what that means. Ageist. How did that happen? Huh. But that is Julio. That was $30, right? I think they're $5.99 gifted membership. I just want to make sure I adjusted the goal correctly. I think I left it at the middle tier. You said the Amish have the same problem with cousin marriages. Do they? Yeah, but I mean, the Amish, are they? I mean, are they having? They're all interbred. Are they having issues with IQs dropping? Or anyway, the relationship between Omar and Minette was publicly alleged in August when Minette's then wife Beth filed for divorce and accused them of having an affair. Minette filed his own court document denying that he told his wife he was in love with Omar and was ending the marriage to be with the congresswoman. That's kind of weird, though, that if he denied that, filed those papers, and then got married to her a couple months later, it seems like maybe he lied, maybe committed perjury, or all of a sudden he just fell in love with her. Something's weird. First cousins equals dumbasses. Okay. Yeah. Any thoughts on Trump saying the Epstein stuff is a hoax? I don't know. Any thoughts on? I mean, I was thinking about pulling it up. I'm kind of sick of the whole Epstein thing, but now you got Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, out there saying that Trump was an FBI informant in the Epstein case. You know, Appalachia is known for inbreeding too. Yeah, it is. A lot of that stuff. And oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that your message got retarded. Old Hong Kong says. Militant roots. Is this Jim from CFC? Anyway, when Omar was asking at a time whether she was separated from her then husband or dating someone, okay. Minette did not start with a financial background. He graduated with a BA in political science from SUNY. His LinkedIn also lists education in the University of KwaZulu-Natal, located in South Africa. What? Trump means anything pointing at him is a hoax. Why would, okay. Oh, well, no, okay. I thought maybe you were, because he goes by Old Hong Kong, I think, on his, when he comes on. I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. My brain isn't firing on all cylinders today. So it says that he's born in 81 in northern New Jersey. He graduated from Vernon Township High School in 99, went on to a bachelor's degree from the State University of New York. And he also is an alumni of the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Durban, South Africa. Straight out of college. Minette was dedicated to finding jobs. Okay, good for him. I mean, isn't everybody trying to find jobs when they get out of college? Seems like not really I don't know. His first political connections was as an intern for Rep. Bill Pascrell, a Democrat from New Jersey. Okay, but you know who I'm talking about. Okay, good. All right. Phil Coggins says there isn't much of statistical difference if it's a one-off cousin marriage. The problem is that you're a product of one and your mate is a product of one, and incidence is about 24%. Yeah, that's what I heard. It compounds, from what I understand. It's a compounding type of thing. You know. So the Wikipedia page for Pascrell describes that when his district was restructured in 2012, it became a proxy war for Israel, with Arab supporters rallying around Pascrell. What the hell does that mean? After redistricting, the existing 8th district was eliminated, and Pascrell's home of Patterson was placed in the newly redrawn 9th district. Fellow Democrat Congressman Steve Rothman decided to move into the reconfigured 9th and challenge Pascrell in the primary. Rothman's home in Fairlawn had been drawn into a Republican-leaning district against Republican Scott Garrett. Geographically, the new district was more Rothman's district than Pascrell's. It covered 53% of Rothman's former territory. Primary contest developed into a highly competitive proxy war over Israel. American Arab former President Aleph Assaf published a column in the Star Ledger. Rothman is Israel's man in the 9th. The total and blind support becomes the only reason for choosing Rothman. Pasquale supporters reportedly produced Arabic language campaign posters encouraging the Arab diaspora community to elect Pasquale, the Friends of the Arabs. Wow. It's kind of amazing how quickly after 9/11 that people just went all full-throated. Like, what is this? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Byron Donalds was just texting me. I'm going to have to get back to him later. Somehow, Minette's political science degree qualified him to become a foundation manager for Alliance for Justice right after graduation, an NGO which provides background on judicial candidates to the ABA and Senate Judiciary Committee. Yeah, I think the ABA, they need to just, Pasquale's a total jackoff. Yeah. Epstein was the rep for both buyer and seller at the Manhattan mansion sale. Okay. And then my wife's parents had the same last name, and they were from Southeast Kentucky. My wife is awesome, but some of her siblings are not too bright. Oof. Oh. Busy night at work, but made it. What's up, Jim? And everybody enjoy the stream. What's up, Node? So glad you could join us again, man. I'm so happy to see everybody here, all the people in the ghetto and all the people in the YouTubes. And I'm only streaming 2 places tonight. I didn't get a chance. I didn't set up YouTube or Rumble. I didn't set up. I'm just on YouTube and Rumble tonight. No X. No Instagram, no Facebook, no Twitch, no Kick. I never stream those places anyway. But yeah, so the ABA, I'm not a fan of the ABA. I think it sucks, but anyway. The political connections for Alliance for Justice go deep. Its former president, Rakeem Brooks, was on the Biden-Harris transition team after previously serving as a policy advisor for the Treasury Department during the Obama administration. Rakeem Brooks. Looks qualified, right? As foundation manager for the Alliance for Justice, he raised millions, which would have brought him extensive connections straight out of college. His Rose Lake biography says he raised over $100 million in his time. Wow, Tim Minette raised over $100 million. I wonder how much of that was fake money from overseas that they just said was from some old lady, because that's what they do. That's how they do. Tim Minette is an entrepreneur. Is he? Business owner. What business was he owning? A longtime consultant to some of the most innovative political campaigns in the past 15 years. Throughout his career, he's raised over $100 million for a wide array of organizations. Well, I guess now he owns a winery or something like that, which is weird because he's married to a Muslim lady and they don't drink, or does she? They frown upon that. So according efforts for organizations including Angelina Jolie's Global Action for Children. Oh, so he's one of them. The SEIU's Change That Works. Oh, another sucky place. Sucky place. The Woodruff Foundation and Alliance for Justice. Well, this guy just works for all the shit places that suck. Okay. And he fought hard to leverage those resources to bring about substantial change to the corridors of power. Who the fuck does this guy think he is? The only corridors he's putting change to is the corridors around the canal inside. Never mind. Tim has been at the forefront of intersection of business, advocacy, and faith. Was he a Muslim? Maybe he's a Muslim. I don't know. Just 5 years after leaving college with a political science degree, Minette found himself in the inner circle of the Obama alumni, serving as senior director at their newly founded consulting firm, New Partners. I wonder if this guy is like connected with Obama type of thing, and that's why Omar is like a new Obama-ish type person. Yeah. Part of the consulting partnership that helped elect Barack Obama to the White House last November has launched a new firm. Paul Tooze announced Monday that he had 7 other veteran Democrat operatives that launched New Partners, Inc. The firm builds itself a new way of doing business. He's a former Democrat National Committee executive director and a top former campaign aide to former Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle. So these people are all in, And then it says leadership role developing. Yes, this guy's been all over. This guy is connected. While in New Partners, Minette did fundraising for Keith Ellison. Oh, God. I knew I hated this guy. Yeah. President Omar. Can't happen. Can't happen. She's not natural born. If you ever want to find yourself a Saudi. Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, I know that they don't, but not. And yeah, I know what you mean. I think what is it? The Oman, right? Or not? No. UAE. Yeah. Oh shit, Omar's coming. That's right. That's what they said. Will Haler describes Maynette as a rock star who's connected to donors of Islamic faith. Oh, so Aman. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. No, it's anyway, party. First, Tim Inett. Tim and I met almost a decade ago by both working for Keith Ellison. I served as Ellison's campaign manager in the 5th District. At that time, Tim was almost a decade into fundraising. He worked at a firm with multiple clients, but at this point, so a fundraiser is just somebody who goes and asks people for money, right? I mean, wouldn't Steel Toe be the biggest fundraiser in Minnesota? Because I mean, he asked for money more than anybody else in Minnesota. He had a great relationship with the National Progressive Donors, donors of Islamic faith, and donors who cared about Minnesota. How many Saudis go to Dubai to drink? Maybe it's Dubai I'm thinking of. That's the UAE, right? It's Dubai. I'm trying to think. It's from I was thinking it was from that movie Zero Dark 30, where he goes and meets the guy at this place, and then they go to buy a Ferrari or something like that for the guy. Julio, look at Julio, man. He went to the Playboy Club opening in DC. Fucking Julio, man, kind of big up in us. Yeah, the UAE, and it was filled with Muslims drinking. Dubai is a big party place. Side note, Dita Von Tessie looks good naked. Oh, if she was in Playboy, I would say so. He produced results for Keith Ellison that no other fundraiser could because of his attention to detail, his passion, and his deep roots in these communities. One of Mynette's brag points is his efforts with the SEIU's Change That Works, which focused on passing Obamacare. So now I really don't like this guy. He also worked for national nonprofits, or Angelina Jolie's Global Action, blah, 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 blah. It adds, having spent the majority of his career based in D.C. while conducting an extensive client travel to every corner of the country, Tim has cultivated strong relationships with national opinion leaders and is sought-after advisor to a diverse group of constituencies. And SEIU unveils major national campaign to bring economic solutions to Main Street. As Congressman's consideration of the economic recovery package supported by President-elect Obama, 2 million member Service Employees Union is launching a new state-by-state effort to bring economic solutions to Main Street. Okay. In 2014, Mynette founded his own company, the Mynette Group. Keith Ellison's committee paid the Mynette Group a retainer of $9,000 a month for 4 years. Wow. So that's almost $450K right there. In 2018, Mynette co-founded the, what's this say? All the Moet and porta potties provided. If you know, you know. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about there. Yeah, it's called the UAE porta potty party or something like that, right? Or Dubai porta potty. I don't know. Isn't Ellison working with Mark Elias and another dork that's constantly suing Trump? Yep. Okay, so they founded his E Street Group with LLC with Will Haler, the campaign manager for Keith Ellison. Among their first clients was Ilhan for Congress. They worked to elect her to Congress even as her campaign paid them millions. And firms work with Ilhan Omar. They co-founded this business. A business partner launched Tim Mynette, fundraising expert, and building political power for progressive candidates and causes across the country. Within 5 minutes after receiving the call from Keith Ellison that he was running for Attorney General, and thus stepping down from Congress, and eventually the DNC, I texted and called, DM'd Ilhan Omar asking her if she was going to run. Oh, so this was all a plan to get her into Congress. Will Haler himself would go on to be Mynette's longtime partner, eventually co-founding Rose Lake Capital LLC with him. He bills himself as a former senior advisor to the DNC. He spearheaded a nationwide $25 million multi-channel ad campaign, elected Doug Jones to the Senate. Oh, so these guys were part of the scumbags that did the smear campaign against that guy in Alabama to get Doug Jones in for 2 years. Norm Legion is his name. Norm Legion. Norm Eisen, but we call him Norm Legion around here. Omar was not the only client of E Street Group. E Street Group received income from Democrat Farm Labor Party, Rashid Tlaib for Congress, Cenk for Congress. Yes, I believe that is Cenk Uygur, and more high-profile names. Royce West for U.S. Senate. Minnesota, Blumenauer for Congress. Pramila for Congress, so Primero Jayapal. DeFazio, DNC Services Corp. They always get all these names and stuff, and then they twist them around. Deb Haaland, ooh, hate her guts. Safir, Glebe, Rudy for Congress. I don't know. And Nabalea for Georgia. Senk for Congress. Amnar Kapadanajari Namakarmi for Congress. And committee to elect Kim Mangone for Congress, and the Unite Democrats PAC, or whatever. And top reported payments was almost $3 million from Ilhan for Congress, whoever the math pack is, whatever that is, and Pramila for Congress. Yeah, so these people, they're always getting paid, man. By and far, the top client for E Street Group was Ilhan for Congress, which gave it almost $3 million in 2020. The next largest vendor was MathPack, which appears to have worked on the behalf of Andrew Yang. Oh, so Andrew Yang, what do you know? Yeah. For Democrats, all their money. Yang. Okay, yeah, so it was Yang Gang. Omar claims a top FEC campaign attorney shrugged off Omar marrying her own campaign fund manager as not uncommon. My relationship with Tim began long after his work started. We consulted with the top FEC campaign attorney to ensure there was no possible legal issues with their relationship. We were told it's not uncommon, and that no, there weren't. In 2022, perhaps because of the scandal, my net withdrew from E Street Group, went on founding Rose Lake Capital. Rose Lake bragged about politically connected board, including an ex-ambassador and former representative. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that they changed their shield to include Arabic writing. That's where we're at now. That's where we're at, people. So, oh shit, I didn't tell. So anyway, yeah. So there is a. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Julio. You donated those five memberships. That was $30. So that is that gets us to Bellicam. I'm sorry, I screwed up, man. I'm sorry, guys. I totally screwed this up. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I really don't. I apologize. I should have been on top of that. Anything more than $25 was an automatic Bellicam, and Jim screwed up. I'm sorry. I apologize. Bad Jim. Haler said that the Rose Lake Capital is now a dormant entity because they transitioned the company from an LLC to a public benefit corporation, and which focuses on socially responsible investing. They together branched into new ventures, including a winery and a cannabis operation. Investors in both later accused them of fraud. Former Democrat operative settles a $1.2 million debt with South Dakota cannabis growers. Will Haler and his business partner Tim Minette, husband of Rep. Omar, still face another lawsuit alleging they defrauded an investor in their California winery. What do you know? Rep. Omar's husband accused of swindling investors in the California winery. Tim Minette and his business partner Will Haler denied defrauding the investor, while another company they started owes $1.2 million to cannabis growers in South Dakota. Wow. Minette's Twitter feed tiptoes around whether he identifies with the Islamic faith or not. As of August 2024, he denied being wealthy. Oh, that's right. They denied being wealthy. Just look at them. We're not wealthy. We're not wealthy. You can't stop thinking about me. If you're a true Muslim, how can your jealousy keep making you do this childish garbage? If you hate your life, you should be making strides towards self-improvement and discipline. Read the Quran. Oh. If you were happy with life, you wouldn't have needed to sneak around with a married woman behind your spouse's back. Oh, and speaking of the Quran, you should stop by the Islamic Center. They'll give you one for free. Disciplined Muslims don't drink Stella Artois. Mm-hmm. This guy says, you are just embarrassing yourself further, Abdullah Bob. Or you surely know the day of judgment comes for us all. No one can hide. I'm not worried. You know your childish bullshit offends the religion you pretend to anchor you. Be a man, not a child. Oh, this guy seems like he's a real internet tough guy. And he says like this, would the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, think of you a good man making jokes about the death of another Muslim? Seriously, is that your religion? We're not wealthy, nor has our wealth grown since LR has served in Congress. They're very public filings that document, but the folks know where to find them. They don't know what truth they contain. So he's going to deny the 30 million net worth claim looks like a valuation on paper, not actual earned income. Oh, Pete Hacker says hi, Bella, and Leo says Bella is his spirit animal. And true, they don't have Pelosi money. Well, give them time. It took Pelosi many, many years to acquire that money. She's only been in Congress for what, 6 years, 5 years? Renee Collins, you're never late. A wizard always arrives exactly when she intends on. We need to get Bella Stella from Good Logic over here to see Bella. Oh. What is going on? What is going on? What is happening here? What is happening? What is happening? Why is this happening? Why am I getting these alerts? Hold on, I gotta fix something. I keep getting these alerts from something here. I want to know what. I don't know what is happening. I keep seeing some Xbox give me alerts, and I ain't playing Xbox, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, so they haven't found evidence of real underlying assets. It claims to manage $60 billion in assets, but a report showed that the attached bank account has less than $50 in the balance. So there's something shady going on here. Behind a successful wife, reportedly the rapid jump in large, was largely tied to business ventures of Omar's husband, his two firms, Estacrew LLC, a winery in Santa Rosa, California, and Rose Lake Capital LLC, a Washington, D.C.-based venture capital company, saw extraordinary gains in valuations over the past year. Omar's filing shows Estacrew's value now falls between $1 million and $5 million, a leap from the modest 15 to 50,000 valuations reported earlier. And the biggest surprise, however, came from Rose Lake Capital, once valued at under 1,000 in 2023. The firm now listed between 5 and 25 million. So, why is this doing this? What is happening here? How do I shut this off? What is happening? Hold on, let me pull some. Let me look for this thing. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna shut it off in the task manager. That's what I'm gonna do. I think I just did it. How about a game bar? What the hell is game bar? No! Never had it do this to me before, where it's doing this crap and this keeps. Oh, here we go. Xbox app. Shut that shit off. End task. End task. Get out of here, Xbox. Stupid Xbox app. Man. I don't know what's going on. I just keep getting these notifications that people are sending me messages that I have no idea who they are. And it's like it's saying Xbox stuff. I don't know. I haven't played Xbox in years. It must be the USAID money. Well, that's what I'm wondering, if this is just them covering up shady money that's coming in. If they don't have any evidence, if it's just people parking money or doing stuff, like bribery, money laundering type of stuff. Okay. How do I do this? All right, there. I just put do not disturb on. That better work. So the claims oversees 60 billion, according to its website. The firm promotes its global reach, but there was no income from the firm. So this might just be like a scam where they claim they got all this money. Rose Lake Capital had $42.44 and $10 had 5650's personal checking account at $3.05. So this might be one of them things where you fake it till you make it type of thing. I'll end on a thread here. My assessment is none of the numbers add up. Harmeet Dillon might be interested in this. Hypothetically, if I were launching a new venture fund and needed credibility fast, I might use my congressional spouse to inflate the reported valuation on paper and get the headlines, making it look more established than it really is, in the hopes of drawing in investors. Confirmed, Minette is a Muslim. Announced on Instagram that she's newly married to Minette, a political consultant that worked for a campaign. Got married from partners and life partners. So blessed. Adding an Arabic phrase and translating "Praise be to God." A spokesman for Omar said late Wednesday, Omar Minette is also married Islamically, with Minette converting to Islam. Video where alone Omar claimed to have talked about wanting to retire and live with her children in Somalia. No mention of Minette.
No, in jidadkeennii aan wada dhisano. Anigu waan ahay gabar Mareykanka laga doortay oo Kongresska Mareykanka ku jirto. Laakiin waxaan ahay gabar Soomaaliyeed, gabar idinku jinsi ah, gabar idinku af ah, gabar idinku diin ah, oo hadde qof iyadoo da'yar waddankeedii laga kaxeeyo wili xiise u qabto in maalin waddankeedii ay ku noolaato.
Wait, she misses her country. She said she was taken from there. She misses it. She wants to go live there. So why doesn't she go back there and go live there then? What is she doing here? Get out of here. Go back.
Dadkeedii wax ay la wadaagto. Marka alxamdulilah waxaan rajaynayaa aniga iyo ilmahayga in aan hadde ku barbaariyo iyagana ilmahooda ay ku barbaariyaan dhulkii aniga aan ku soo koray. taasna haddii ay suurtagelayso waa hadda shaqo badan inaan wada qabanaa hadduu ilaahay yiraahdo oo aan ka dhignaa dhulkeena dhul barwaaqadiisa dadka oo dhan ay dareemi karaan oo ay arki karaan oo ay ka wada faa'iideysan karaan in jidadkeennii aan wada dhisan.
Okay, now I'm getting pissed. I fucking hit do not disturb. What is going on here? Sorry. I'm gonna have to find this thing. Xbox. It's pissing me off. Oh, I'm getting pissed now. Why is it still alerting me? I'm getting very mad. Getting very, very mad. She is a martyr to the Islamic advancement, Islamic virtue signaling. Yeah. Yeah, let's help her pack. Definitely. Yeah. Recall a few months back when you were adamant that you wanted to help expose all the crooked politicians, not just Democrats. Please do Lindsey Graham and Tom Cotton next. And this I saw was very disturbing. It says another AFD party candidate has died unexpectedly ahead of the local elections in the North Rhine-Westphalia, marking the fourth such case nationwide in recent months. Yeah, there's been a rise, in Europe, Germany, and other places of, let's just call it, populist right-wing candidates have been getting popular, and they've actually been, leading in the polls. And then just mysteriously, like these AFD, which is Alternative for Deutschland candidates, which people call far right or whatever, but they're not really, they're just normal. They're like 6 or 7 of them have died in the last 2 weeks. They're just dropping dead. It's really weird. It's really weird. A German outlet, the for such case, and it just says for such case, a German outlet, WDR reported AFD's direct candidate for the council in Berlomberg, 66-year-old Ralph Lang, died, or Lang, whatever, and on the 28th of August. His death automatically rendered invalid polling cards and postal ballot documents already sent out, putting pressure on the city administration to reprint and resend them in time. You think it's up to 8 now? Yeah, it might be. It might be up to 8 now. What is going on here? It's just a coincidence. Yeah, just like Scalia, just a coincidence that he went on that camping trip with Ruth Bader Ginsburg and just woke up with a pillow over his face. It's weird. Definitely. It's 6 now. 6 candidates died in only 17 days. This is statistically impossible. No. I mean, a couple, 72, whatever, here's the deaths. It's, this person, Bad Lippetspring, 59, sudden and unexpected. Look at sudden and unexpected. And then this one, Patrick Titzi, they don't know his age, but it says deletion. And this guy, kidney failure. So it's almost like someone's poisoned him with something that's doing this to him. Rene Hereford, Ralph Lange, Wolfgang Klinger, Wolfgang Seitz. Yes. We know what's going on. If you can't beat them, kill them. In Germany, 4 candidates from the AfD suddenly died shortly before the election. Yeah. Chancellor Friedrich Merz. We are talking about a 66-year-old Ralph Lange, 59-year-old Wolfgang Sitz, 71-year-old Wolfgang Klinger, and a 59-year-old Stefan Bredens. Please tell the German Chancellor to either let AfD run without interference, or we will either pull out of NATO or pull our troops out of Europe and let the Europeans, this union, deal with Putin's Russia all by itself. Tell all these guys to go pound sand. AfD party has recorded 6 deaths amongst its politicians within a short period of time in the run-up to the upcoming local elections. AfD now records 6 dead politicians. Yes. Local election campaign, the AfD has recorded 2 more deaths in addition to the 4 already reported. 2 reserve list candidates have also died. State labor leader announced investigating into their cases. So that's the 8, the 2 reserve. So you got 6 candidates, 4 already reported, and now 2 reserve. I wouldn't say it's impossible, just highly improbable. Like the Secret Service leaving an obvious sniper spot 130 miles from protecting unsecurity. Yes, that was highly improbable that they did it. Seems like something the Nazis would have done. All those Hillary suicides, Clintonitis. Jim, anyone can get it. Yeah, I thought that said clitonitis, like clitonisitis or something. But she emphatically denied being a millionaire the day after she filed in May. Yeah. She's a liar. The number of deceased AfD candidates has risen to 7, according to Welt. Germany deserves better. Women convicted of offending migrant gang rapists receives longer prison sentence than the rapist. Yes, it happens. Bro, you seeing this? Yeah, and they call us dictators. Oh, hang on, I'm getting another call. Bro. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's just crazy. Zero Hedge is statistically almost impossible. 4 AfD candidates have died suddenly and unexpectedly before a key state election. Hey, what's up, Patrick? Thank you for coming by to say hi. We thought Clintonitis only stuck in the U.S. and Haiti. It's becoming a global epidemic, it seems. It's 6 people now already. I think that one was saying it was unexpectedly. This one I already, I think this is one I already read. Now 6, only 17 days. Yes, we read that. And this is from this guy from Gobble. It says, is there going to be an investigation in Germany? No, that is totally normal. And everyone says otherwise as a conspiracy theorist. Now it's statistically absolutely impossible. There are 2 options left. They were all together at one event and got in touch with a poison or murder. But apparently there have been 12 deaths. Surely they cannot ignore this. Now this guy's saying 12. In a large election with thousands of candidates, a few deaths across all candidates are statistically plausible, but 7 from one party is still highly unlikely, on the order of 1 in 10 of quadrillions for a party with 1,000 candidates. You still get the first part wrong. People who know they are ill do not run for office. This is why it's nearby never happens that even only 1 candidate dies before the election. Now it's statistically absolutely impossible. There are 2 options. Yes. Suddenly and unexpectedly is a code in the media for died from corona injection. It's unlikely that these AfD candidates had turned themselves into spike factories. Did any non-opposition politicians pass away this time frame, or only members of the opposition? That's a good question. Here's a story from Zero Hedge. It's statistically impossible. 4 AfDs have died suddenly, unexpectedly. 4 alternative for Deutschland candidates died suddenly and unexpectedly in Germany's largest state, North Rhine-Westphalia, right before the state election. Maybe it was the coup. It's possible. Anger and theories are running rife on social media about the sudden deaths. According to WDR, 4 candidates who were not excluded have died immediately before the municipal elections. And it says, Lot dodja sin ver konkanin dat nicht ausgelassen worden und mittelbar wurde Norbert Koloman verboten. Blumberg, Rheinberg, zwarte bad lisbring strategisch fats onmogelijk. Vita afkandet nadat was de botten stimmenbaan was van vallen ongeluk. In another post from Peter Borby, he writes, 4 AFD candidates died within 2 weeks during the NRW local elections. Wolfgang Sietz, Ralph Lange, Stefan Bernardin, Wolfgang Klinger, all 4 died suddenly and unexpectedly. Died suddenly. Wasn't that what they said about the people who took the shot and died suddenly? Fort tot aften kallen bodden und haben van den botten bit, naden kommen wallen, Wolfgang Sietz, Bakken, Blomberg, Staffen, Banders, Liffen, Bullen, Woffen, Klingen. Voor Staben, Pulditsch en Orderwatten. Een Stodderg, Hafen, Tan van Todderfalla. Despite concerns expressed on social media, not much is known about the circumstances of the deaths of the 4 candidates other than they died unexpectedly, which means none of them died from a long battle with cancer. She's a gigapost. Wait, there was a CFC show tonight? Nice convo and a CFC. Oh, wait, you're talking about the chat. Okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about a show I missed. There was a show today. I slept until almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon today. I was a bad boy. That's not pig Latin. That's called pig German. Why do I feel like I'm living an episode of Hogan's Heroes? Well, one of my favorite shows growing up. Really liked it. I know nothing. Colonel Blink. As of yet, nobody has provided any evidence that the AFD candidates died from anything other than natural causes. In addition, does not to appear any police investigations launched into the deaths. See no evil, hear no evil, know no evil in any of the 4 individuals. However, in Germany, polarized political environment, there is no surprise that AFD supporters are worried about the safety of their candidates. The AfD party, after all, is the most attacked party in the country, including assaults and other forms of violence, according to official government statistics. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't one of the AfD people running got assassinated, right? A couple years back. Local elections are set for September 14th, but the Welt newspaper reports that the latest death, the AfD's direct candidate, who died unexpectedly, among other media outlets, a number of reports claiming it was either 66 or 67 other candidates. Okay, what is this? Now I just got a notification that someone accepted my friend request. I did not friend request anybody. What the hell is going on? AfD supporters in Germany should be attacked, and the people should vomit in their faces, break down their doors and gates, and slap them in the face. I don't give a shit, said a public figure, Peter Fischer, to RTL, despite calling for violence. So these are people calling for violence.
Der Straße, da müsste ja viel mehr sein. Rennt denen die Türen ein und die Toren ein, gibt ihnen Ohrfeigen, kotzt ihnen ins Gesicht. Es ist mir scheißegal. Werdet laut und zeigt euch endlich. Das ist die eine Seite, die in Ordnung ist. Die andere Seite.
Wow, this sounds just like Hitler.
Grausame Wahlergebnisse.
It's like if I close my eyes, I see Hitler talking at the things.
Insbesondere, wo man so um die 30% oder so, was das bedeutet. Ja, jeder 4. oder jeder 5. auf der Straße ist Nazi. Die müssen sich bewusst werden, das ist ja nicht nur ein Kreuz. Du bist damit Nationalsozialist, nichts anderes. Protestwähler, ich finde das so doof, was die alles machen. Ich mache mal was anderes. Und wir werden.
John Boehner died? The former Speaker of the House? Really? Authorities are under pressure to print new ballots with the elections quickly approaching. There are serious time constraints in some of the affected districts. New ballots have already been sent out. But who's going to candidate? Some voters have already sent in their mail-in ballots. These ballots will no longer be valid and must vote again. Welt writes that these guys, Armin and Arkin and Arjman districts, and the 59-year-old Wolfgang Sietz also died suddenly and unexpectedly. Politician Heinrich Stuck stabbed in Meinheim. Here's the alleged video showing. Well, this one guy was stabbed. Yeah. He cried himself to death. That's terrible. Oh, man. Yeah, they call them far right when in reality they would be considered liberals. Yeah. Seen some awesome videos of a YouTuber, British guy going around the EU and literally slapping around bum druggies, imported citizen. Oh, no. John Banner played Sergeant Schultz in Hogan Heroes. Okay. Hey, Louis Fillet, what's up, man? Or is it Louis Fillet? Hey, what's up? Antifa thug swings a knife multiple times, leaving multiple stab wounds in this guy's body.
Halt! Bleiben wir stehen! Hinlegen! Sofort hinlegen! Hinlegen!
Wow. Oh. Oh, that's horrible. Need more here. Statistically, almost impossible. 4 candidates have died suddenly and unexpectedly. Remix, whatever. Okay. Here's all the stuff. That's it. That's all of it. Authorities, yeah, that's all they have. Oh, okay. And this is disturbing. This is breaking news. The Secret Service counter sniper team is drastically understaffed, putting protectees' lives in danger. Can you believe it? Can you guys believe that the counter sniper, FBI, the Secret Service's counter sniper teams are understaffed and not qualified? And the best Sergeant Schultz moment is when Colonel Klink realized Schultz was his boss before the war. Really? How come Schultz didn't realize it? They were in on the assassination attempt. Yeah, so here, Secret Service counter sniper team is drastically understaffed, putting protectees' lives in danger. Hey, everybody, we're about an hour into the show, and I know I didn't do this earlier, which, whatever. But so I'm just going to point out that right now we are $45 away from going an extra hour because of one donation from Julio, gifted 5 memberships. That's $6 a membership. That's $30, right? 5 times 6 is 30, right? Math. And so we are $45 away from an additional hour. It's Friday night. You know, I got all night. We can go all night. It's up to you guys what you want to do. The Secret Service counter sniper teams are drastically understaffed and are using overtime and less qualified marksmen to fill in the gaps in the security crisis that threatens the lives of its protectees. The Homeland Security Department internal watchdog starkly warned Tuesday. The report released by Inspector General Joseph Kafari is the latest signal that the agency that protects the president and vice president is still dealing with legacy shortcomings and strategic failures that were first exposed by the assassination attempt on President Trump in July 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania. Hey, Terry, how you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. The United States Secret Service counter sniper team is staffed 73% below the level necessary to meet its mission requirements. I mean, think about that. They have 73% too little people on the team. Maybe they should start, I don't know, getting like Navy's, I don't know, Marine Corps snipers. They need to start finding some people to do the job. You know, they better start looking. Below necessary to meet requirements. Failure to appropriately staff the CS could limit the Secret Service's ability to properly protect our nation's most serious leaders, risking injury or assassination. Well, we saw that happen in Butler, didn't we? And subsequent national level harm to the country's sense of safety and security. Given its chronic understaffing, CS relied on overtime and leveraged personnel from other departments of Homeland Security components to meet mission requirements. And we saw the people that couldn't put the stuff, you know, that the ones that were protecting Trump, that clearly were not the A team. And you can read the full report here. The watchdog revealed that the watchdog revealed that the Secret Service paid nearly $250,000 in overtime, nearly $250,000 overtime hours to keep the counter sniper team staffed between 2021 and 2024. So it's something that's been going on for a while. Wow. The Secret Service also borrowed employees from other agencies during the 2024 election and Trump's inauguration, in some cases using marksmen that did not fully meet the criteria for the protective detail. Some counter snipers did not meet mandatory weapons requalification requirements, the report warned, and counter snipers who missed mandatory weapons requalifications, i.e. retesting their ability to shoot accurately in daytime and at night, nonetheless supported 47 of the 426 events, 11% of the events, attended by protectees in calendar year 2024. The report included a response from Trump-run Secret Service saying it agreed with the findings and was working to fix the personnel shortfall quickly. That's it, huh? That's all you got? That's all you got? here's the report, and we'll just do a quick little look at it here. There we go. It says for official use, law enforcement sensitive. Well, I don't know, August 29th. Secret Service's counter cyber team is not staffed to meet the mission requirements. Redacted. From Joseph Ghaffari. Says there 2 recommendations aimed at improving the counter cyber staffing and training. The office conferred with both recommendations. Hey, Grip, how you doing, buddy? Awesome to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And said, provide a written response. Based on the response to draft, we consider recommending 1 and open and resolved. Office has fully implemented the recommendations. Doesn't say what they are, though. The CS employed between blank and blank counter snipers annually, and the Secret Service determined that CS needed blank and blank. All right, so it's not going to tell us anything. So, all right, never mind. Not going to tell us shit. Okay, what's this? Oh, it says, thanks to POTUS's One Big Beautiful Bill, ICE launched a new reimbursement program for state and local law enforcement who partner with the DHS to make America safe again. ICE will fully reimburse participating agencies for the annual salary and benefits for each trained 287G officer, including overtime coverage up to 25% of the officer's annual salary. Law enforcement agencies will be eligible for quarterly monetary performance awards based on the successful location of legal aliens provided by ICE. What? So basically, they're going to pay them to help them find illegals. New DHS 287G reimbursement program can revolutionize law enforcement by helping ICE. Well, this 287G expansion is exactly how enforcement should work. Leveraging local partnerships with federal muscle, the 609% surge in agreements proves that states are hungry for real solutions, not sanctuary city theatrics. Reimbursing salaries and offering performance bonuses turns law enforcement into force multipliers, targeting the worst criminal illegals while respecting taxpayer investments. Yes. Hold on a second. Targeting the worst criminal aliens, respecting taxpayer investments. ICE's 8,500 trained officers across 40 states show scalability, and tying payouts to success metrics ensures accountability. This isn't just policy, it's a blueprint for dismantling bureaucratic inertia. When agencies compete to remove murderers and gang members, it's not just a cost, it's a dividend. Data behind these results demand a look. Hey, what's this from Jeff Sproul? Thank you very much for being here. USA. Seeing that they missed obvious sniper posts, I'd like to see the previous plans for covering rallies to see if they were leaving holes in the net at others, hoping something would happen. Because they took the good ones away from Trump to give them to Joe Biden because she was in Pittsburgh. That's what they say. So, the new DHS reimbursement program can revolutionize law enforcement helping ICE. He's from PNO. Okay. When President Trump said he wanted to make America safe again, he meant it. A new program being implemented by the Department of Homeland Security is just the latest example of the administration's commitment to safeguarding Americans. DHS is taking the innovative approach to enhancing its illegal immigration enforcement efforts. This strategy could revolutionize the efficiency with which criminal illegal aliens are apprehended by law enforcement agencies throughout the country. Through utilizing a section of the Immigration and Nationality Act known as 287G. DHS announced on Tuesday new reimbursement opportunities for the nation's law enforcement agencies that aid immigration and customs enforcement in arresting criminal illegal immigrants. You know, this is what's funny is because if states and cities like Chicago and LA and New York took advantage of this and actually helped ICE, cooperated, it would solve their budgetary problem. It would plug the budget hole they have, but no, they won't do it. Chicago was down, I think, 2,000 cops that below what they, just a couple of years ago, that 2,000 less than they're about 5,000 short of where they should be. The program enables state and local agencies to sign agreements with ICE to assist with illegal immigration enforcement, including deportations. 287G is critical to having law enforcement need to arrest criminal illegal aliens across the country. The DHS spokesman told the Washington Examiner DHS has secured 896 signed agreements with state and local partnerships under this program and will continue to build on that number. What is going on here? It seems like it, right? Seems like somebody has hacked my Microsoft or Xbox account. It's starting to look that way, but I don't understand how when I have the authenticator and you're supposed to have to get a thing to get in, like it's supposed to notify me and I got to approve it on my phone. So I don't know when I have to look into it. But however, the new reimbursement opportunity announced will allow ICE to fully reimburse any agency with participating officers, including the annual salary and benefits for each eligible trained 287G officer, as long as the program isn't abused like the COVID reimbursements. Well, I think they're going to, they're not going to be able to abuse. They're going to have to actually help ICE arrest people and stuff. It's an incentive program that is common sense and most importantly will help make the country safer. The possibility for enhanced security that will result from this are in a way remarkable. The program will provide any law enforcement. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on. Damn it. The possibilities for enhanced security that will result from this are way. The program will provide any. Oh, what the fuck's going on here? Possibility for enhanced security that will result from this are in a way remarkable. The program will provide any law enforcement agency that signs the agreement with the resources needed to educate and train officers to enforce immigration laws while performing routine police duties. The press release announcing the program, Trump administration using it to remove the worst of the worst, such as terrorists, murderers, rapists, pedophiles who prey on innocent Americans. Yeah, every red state will participate in this program, further driving the illegals into blue areas. Brilliant, like shooting fish in a barrel. Yeah. I just hope they don't burn through all the ICE deporting money this year and not have money to sustain it for years to come. Well, see, that's the thing, though. You got to remember is that the government, everything the government does operates on a year-to-year basis. So the budgets are, it's not like, it's very rarely, like when it comes to like spending on this stuff, it's for like these programs, it has to be done this year, and then next year it'll be more money and stuff like that. But the one good thing when it comes to this is with the government, once they start spending money on stuff like this, they just keep spending money on it. Do you think if we had a turn in illegal alien hotline, 100,000 per alien, people would call? I think if we had a turn, if we had a turn in an illegal alien and it was $500 per alien, there'd be tons of calls. ICE is not only supercharging our hiring, we are also multiplying partnerships with state and local law enforcement to remove the worst of the worst, including murderers, gang members, rapists, terrorists, and pedophiles across the country. The release noted that the 287G program task force model currently includes personnel from 40 states. Among them are over 8,500 trained task force officers, another 200 officers still in training, As of Tuesday morning, DHS has seen a significant increase in a partnership with the law enforcement agencies, going from 135 to 958, a staggering 609% increase. Moreover, DHS will fund multiple incentive opportunities for any law enforcement agency participating in the 287G program task force model. Participants who are successful at their tasks will have a chance for a quarterly monetary performance award, with payments ranging from $500 to $1,000, depending on their success percentage in apprehending criminals ICE seeks. Wow! So they're going to pay these guys bonuses if they actually get the people. This Jeff is a bro from Patriot News. I asked to come check out your channel. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate it. You know. Thanks to the One Big Beautiful Bill, ICE launched a new reimbursement program. We encourage all state and local law enforcement agencies to sign an agreement now. By joining forces with ICE, you're not just gaining the access to these unprecedented reimbursement opportunities, you're becoming part of a national effort to ensure the safety of every American family. Well, that's cool. It's a win-win because it protects innocent Americans from violent criminals. And it can be a real game changer in policy that forever changes the history of the United States, incentivizing law enforcement agencies to hold the worst of illegal immigrants accountable. The 287G program task force model will be integral to one of the most transformational periods in American history. U.S. history is rife with presidential administrations talking about the horrors associated with illegal immigration and promising to remedy it, but only the Trump administration decided to do something about it. Oh, he got another. Says, vegans taste like chicken. I followed the link Grip posted from PNO, so Patriot News. Okay. Bella is moving. Uh-oh. Okay. I'll fix it. We'll get her. We'll get her back on camera here. Look at this. There we go. Okay. Back in the camera. Yeah, they just print more money. That's what they do. You're crawling with illegals in Metro Detroit. So they should get some kind of program. How do you feel about mandatory voter ID for all? Necessary for fairness. I would say so. Yeah, this shit is not going to make the Dems happy. Well, the only thing that would make the Dems happy is stuff that would make us very upset. But there was a thing I wanted to check out here, and I want to search. Okay. This is unbelievable. The raid on the Hyundai battery plant in Georgia resulted in the arrest of over 400 illegal immigrants. The same exact plant Joe Biden promised would give jobs to Americans.
Raid at a Hyundai plant. This is just outside of Savannah. This is one of the largest and most high-profile manufacturing sites in the state, employing about 1,400 people. Workers say hundreds of agents in several different agencies participated in the sting.
We are actively conducting an investigation into unlawful employment practices going on at this massive multi-hundred acre construction site behind me.
Homeland Security says the investigation is expected to continue beyond tonight. Hyundai says that it is cooperating with law enforcement and committed to abiding by all labor and immigration regulation. After a massive immigration.
So, and here was Joe Biden's statement on it. If you're in October 25th, 2022, statement by Joe Biden on Hyundai's investment in Georgia. My economic agenda passed by Democrats in Congress to rebuild our manufacturing and infrastructure here at home continues to pay off for the American people, this time in Georgia. The plant was announced during my trip to the Republic of Korea in May, and I'm excited that groundbreaking is happening months ahead of schedule. Hyundai's commitment to invest more than $5 billion and create more than 8,000 jobs making electric vehicles and batteries will help to boost the entire community around Bryan County with good jobs people can raise a family on and ultimately lower costs for the American people. This has been the heart of historic legislation we passed over the past few years. And the last thing we should do is repeal it as Republicans want to do. That's odd, right? I mean, that's odd, isn't it? That's what they're talking about. You know, when they got illegals all over the place in there. Why is this crooked? What is going on here? I'm gonna have to fix something's off with this camera. Oh, it's her bed. Hold on. Wait. Ay, 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 ay. Come here. Okay. Is that better? Yes. Jim is interactive with the chat. I do. I try to participate in the chat. Hold on. We got a super chat here. DA, Alabama claims to be the angel of death, drives the California church to do the Lord's reaping if you need a story. Okay. I will look into that. Alabama man claims to be the. I will look into that. Thank you for the $5. I will take that off the total right now. We are now $40 away from our goal. For the first goal of the evening. Of an extended hour, another additional hour of the show. Mm-hmm. She's happy. Thank you. Just saying. Okay. Let's see. Time to start finding companies. Yeah, like, see, that's what I think personally. If there's companies hiring these illegals, they know they're illegal. They need to be held accountable too. No, yeah. Patrick's right. Stop playing into my delusions. Bella is not real. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Oh. How dare you make it less likely we'll get carjacked or murdered? Yeah, they're very pissed about that. Also, there was I want to find it. There was I want to look for the bookmarks here. U.S. Court of Appeals, not this one. A lot of people getting lost in the details of the sealed thing. I want to do that. Oh, yeah, they're renaming the Department of Defense Department of War. This is crazy. This magnetic controlled microbot sperm. This is weird. Department of War. Where is it? Damn it. Oh, we saw this about the tariffs on the aluminum. Right? Yeah, we saw that. Damn it. Where is it? I thought it was right here. Anyway, damn it. Whatever. Shit. Anyway, I'm sorry. Oh. Okay. Trumpinator with 5 says, just for the heck of it. Hell of it. Thank you. And that will come off. So now we are $35 away from the first goal of the evening. Of an additional hour. What do you know? So just $35 more, we'll go another hour. And every $75 after that, we'll continue to add hours and hours and hours. We'll be here all day and night. It's up to you guys. Massive DHS raid hits Georgia Hyundai factory that Biden touted as a major victory for new American jobs. Mm-hmm. Is this actually going to be the...
In coordination with our law enforcement partners, executed a judicial search warrant as part of an ongoing criminal investigation into allegations of unlawful employment practices and serious federal crimes. The investigation resulted in the arrest of 475 individuals and is focused on ensuring accountability for those who violate the law and uphold the rule of law. We are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable. I'd like to add that this was not an immigration operation where agents went into the premises, rounded up folks, and put them on buses. This has been a multi-month criminal investigation where we have developed evidence, conducted interviews, gathered documents, and presented that evidence to the court in order to obtain a judicial search warrant. Yesterday, we executed that search warrant and gathered additional evidence that will support this investigation. There are no criminal charges being announced today, but this is an ongoing matter. This, in fact, was the largest single site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
Anyway, all right. Boom. I was trying to find this other part that I wanted to get to. Yeah, almost 500. No doubt they were illegals. Oh yeah, they were all illegals. So a Hyundai factory under construction near Savannah, Georgia, was the subject of a massive immigration raid, previously touted by Joe Biden and other politicians as a win for manufacturing jobs in America. Some chick whining on YouTube, her factory was empty, no illegal workers. Now she has to pay normal wages. Well, that's what's going to happen. Homeland Security investigation says 675 people who were in the country illegally, primarily from South Korea, were arrested as part of the operation at the under construction battery plant. However, the car company claimed nobody detained was directly employed by Hyundai. The incident brings renewed scrutiny on construction sites of large projects as the Trump administration continues to investigate illegal worksite practices. It's great to hear they announced the more than $10 billion in new investment in American manufacturing, the new commitment of $5 billion for advanced automotive technology, and $5.5 billion investment to open a new factory near Savannah, Georgia, going to create more than 8,000 jobs. Biden said while visiting South Korea. Yeah, but look at but they're all here illegally working. Our administration is setting the most ambitious standards to cut pollution. Blah blah blah. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp touted the project last February on X, an effort in his partnership between Hyundai and LG Energy Solutions to bolster EV development in the U.S. HSI said some of the workers arrested were employed by subcontractors on the construction site, which has since been paused. The EV manufacturing plant on the campus was not affected. Fox News Digital's reported that ICE and other law enforcement agencies were part of the operation. As of today, it's our understanding that none of those detained is directly employed by Hyundai Motor Company. So why were they all South Koreans? We prioritize safety and well-being of everybody. So hey, look at this. So Charles and Company says illegal workers, no benefits. Finding the business will make them hesitant to hire illegals. Something needs to happen. I mean, it is a crime to do it. And Charles and Company says to any of the 72 watching, the current goal needs $35 more for a 3-hour show. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's a bridge too far to report illegals for most folks. Not our job. Well, if they're going to pay you to do it, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would for $1,000 or $1,500. So LG Energy Solutions says it will fully cooperate with the relevant authorities. Operations at the worksite have become a noteworthy element of Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. Yeah. So 16 in custody at the immigration raid at Home Depot. Federal authorities butted heads with some Democrat officials in California at a cannabis farm, which resulted in the discovery of children working at the plant. Yeah. We need construction to cease immediately, a man wearing an HSI vest said in a video posted to a social media site, adding that he had a warrant and we need to end work on the site right now. Yeah. And almost all the jobs Brandon touted were illegals and government jobs. That's right. And all the jobs that Obama touted all those times were all minimum wage jobs. That was all the growth under Obama. All the job growth was all minimum wage jobs. That was it. It was all the job growth. Yeah. Yeah, no health care, no insurance, low wages, easy peasy. Yeah, and also no workers' comp, nothing like that. No workers' comp insurance, nothing. In a statement, the Fox News DHS spokesman says this is a complex case that required the help of numerous federal agencies. Now, they reached out to Biden's office for comment, but no one got back to him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Here's the Epic Times, or Epoch Times, depending on who you talk to. Pentagon rebrand sends a message of victory in Trump's largest ICE operation yet at the Hyundai plant. Hundreds of illegal immigrants were arrested at a Hyundai facility, most of whom are South Korean nationals. South Korea is now reacting. Department of Defense is now the Department of War. What should the President Trump and Secretary say about the move? That's it. What the fuck is going on here? This is your guys' story? What kind of story is this? What is going on with these people? They put like a 2-line blurb and that's the story? Are you nuts? Anyway. So here you got CNN saying an immigration raid at Hyundai's Meta plant in Georgia led to the arrest of 475 people. CNN is reporting POTUS just opened up 500 jobs for Americans in Georgia, right? Is that what you're saying? It should be. Now more jobs for Americans. That's right. Okay. No, no. Ah. This ABC News says the immigration authorities have arrested at least 450 people in a raid at Hyundai manufacturing plant in Georgia. Uh-huh. Why is it doing this? Libs TikTok 450 illegal aliens arrested at a worksite raid at the Hyundai battery plant in Georgia. That's exactly what I voted for. 450 American jobs were created. I had another one here though, and I don't know where it went. There was another story. I had it in my damn. Anyway, we'll do this. I wanted to find it. 475 people taken into custody at ICE raid at Hyundai.
And we're learning new details in what ICE is calling its largest raid at a single site in its 22-year history. The agency says at least 450 people were detained at a Hyundai battery plant in Georgia. South Korea's foreign ministry is conveying concerns and regret over the raid, saying, quote, the economic activities of our companies investing in the U.S. and the rights and interests of our nationals must not be unfairly violated. Hyundai says it's cooperating with law enforcement and is committed to abiding by all labor and immigration regulations. Now, U.S. officials say the operation was part of a multi-month investigation.
Each individual was questioned on their status, their documents were checked, their backgrounds were checked, and ultimately through coordination of our experts and attorneys in the background, those that were found to be illegally present were then detained and turned over to ICE enforcement and removal operations custody.
And ABC's Luke Barr has more on that. So Luke, what's the latest on this raid?
Well, Diane, this is the largest raid in Homeland Security investigations history. And this didn't initially start out as an immigration raid. This was a criminal investigation that actually turned into, that big raid. 475 individuals arrested. Most were Korean nationals, according to the special agent in charge who just gave a briefing to reporters. They say that they looked at the network of subcontractors that this plant used. They went in, they wanted to investigate who was working there, and then they had all of the documents checked that needed to be checked, and then they turned those that needed to go to ICE. They turned them over to immigration authorities for processing and for potential deportation.
Now, Hyundai says it's cooperating with law enforcement. So what happens next?
Well, the special agent in charge didn't want to speculate as to if there would be criminal charges or not. They're still investigating this, but that could be the next step. There's a variety of,
So yeah, United States immigration authorities have arrested 475 people in a raid on a Hyundai manufacturing site in Georgia. The facility in Ellaville, Georgia, approximately 30 miles west of Savannah, was raided as part of an ongoing criminal investigation. I wonder what the criminal investigation was. The raid was authorized by a judge issuing a warrant following a months-long investigation of the facility. Investigation of the worksite remains. I wonder what the crimes were. This doesn't say. This is, in fact, the largest, if it wasn't immigration. As of today, understanding that none of those detained is directly employed by Hyundai. Hey, just Dawn, Solar's Ginger. What's up? Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Mm-hmm. For anybody here, if you're new, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. There's 77 people here and there's only 50 likes, so give it a thumbs up if you don't mind. We're urging special attention to ensure that the legitimate rights and interests of our citizens is not violated. So this is the press briefing. The South Korean Foreign Ministry said it conveyed its concerns and regret over the raid at the Hyundai battery plant, urging special attention to ensure that the legitimate rights and interests of their citizens were not violated. What about our citizens? So shit about your citizens. What about our citizens? Get your citizens out of here, back to your country. Economic activity of our companies investing in the U.S. and the rights and interests of the nationals must not be unfairly violated. They're here illegally working. They're violating our rights and our laws. You know, if South Korea wants to play games, they could always deal with the old Kim to the north on their own. Consular officials sent to the plant investigation focused on ensuring accountability for those who violate the law and upholding the rule of law. Federal officials are planning a press briefing to release more information regarding the criminal search warrant and enforcement actions. So yeah, so that. And this is what I was looking for before. It says, hey, Ossoff, why did the Hyundai plant you worked on get filled with 500 illegal aliens instead of American workers? Who do you work for? So yeah, so here's John Ossoff saying from news, following months of behind-the-scenes work by Senator John Ossoff, Hyundai Motor Company today formally announced a historic new electric vehicle and electric vehicle battery manufacturing plant in Bryan, Georgia, creating 8,100 jobs. Yeah, well, that's crazy that those jobs were filled by illegal aliens. ICE just conducted the largest single operation in DHS history. Yeah. Well, they weren't they weren't direct employees of Hyundai. You know, CNN says massive immigration raid leads to 475 arrests. Most are Korean. Hey, G Sharkman, what's up, man? Nice of you to be here. And the rest of the Jim Somniacs, that's great. EVs are such a scam. I agree. Here we go. And this was another thing on the same story here. So breaking, my God. Tom Homan has found 22,638 of the missing migrant children, 27 found deceased, 400 plus sponsors arrested. HHS says they found most of these children in deplorable conditions. A lot of them were raped. Lord, please lay those who perish their souls to rest, heal the children who were rescued, and help HHS find the rest. Can I get an amen?
We found kids in very deplorable conditions, very dirty conditions. We found children who have been raped.
We got exclusive access to the team operating from what they call the War Room in Washington, D.C. Working under the Department of Health and Human Services, the team is made up of volunteers from agencies like the FBI and Homeland Security investigations. The team is entirely data-driven. They're focused on analyzing records and addresses to track down where these minors ended up. More than 22,000 unaccompanied children have been found so far under this Trump administration. 27 of the minors were found dead, either murdered or by suicide, car accidents, or drug overdoses. And more than 400 sponsors have been arrested.
We're talking about debt bondage, where children are being made to work off debt, trafficking debt. We're talking about children that were brought into situations and then treated like sexual slaves.
In early 2021, record number of children began crossing the border. According to HHS, between 2021 to 2024, more than 470,000 unaccompanied children crossed into the United States. Records show that many of these children were released to sponsors under very lax vetting policies.
What do you think people would be surprised of when it comes to the lack of screening?
Well, under the last administration, there was a severe lack of screening. There was no DNA testing to see if there was a familial connection. Children were released to people that said they were their parents who were not. And in many cases, the data is horrible. What the Biden administration was taking in and actually putting into our computer systems was not the right information. So now we have to draw that all back in and deeply investigate into where some of these children went.
Definitely. All right, where are we at here? Here. So yes, we got this. And then I want to point out that we had a Rumble rant come in from Coggins Phil. It says, how about the gender fluid pee-poo ban? Check Twitter DM for vid. Damn YouTube censorship again. So with that $10, it brings our goal down to $25 away from the first additional hour added to the show. So yes, so we will definitely look at that. I will look for that video. And then DHS exposed that illegal aliens on the transnational organized crime TOC watch list were sponsoring children. It's evil to give children to gangbangers. Save the children. Reinstate Aaron. Remember that is. Whistleblowers have been sounding the alarm for more than 4 years. We're not offering children an American dream, but instead putting them into modern-day slavery with wicked overlords. The United States government has become the middleman in a large-scale, multi-billion-dollar child trafficking operation that's run by bad actors seeking to profit off the lives of children. That's horrible, brutal, bad stuff. Oh, no, it was this one. Sorry. So it was 450 illegal aliens arrested at the worksite raid and the battery plant. This is what they voted for. Yes. Okay. There's this. The most dangerous man in tech isn't Elon Musk or Sam Altman. It's Parag Agrawal, the ex-Twitter CEO Musk fired. While everyone was distracted by ChatGPT, Parag was quietly building something bigger, and now he's about to unleash it. Here's how he outplayed the entire AI industry. Musk's Twitter leadership rejig. Parag Agrawal fired. Parag Agrawal, Stanford PhD, ex-Twitter CTO and CEO, has built Twitter's AI engine for 250 million users. Musk fired him in 2022. Now he's quietly building a new AI empire backed by top engineers and Silicon Valley investors. Let's see here.
In November, when Twitter co-founder and CEO Jack Dorsey announced he was stepping down, he also named his successor, Parag Agrawal. A Twitter veteran, many saw Agrawal as a natural fit to replace Dorsey. Agrawal joined Twitter in 2011, following stints at Microsoft, AT&T, and Yahoo. He first worked on Twitter's ad team, where, using machine learning, Mr. Agrawal and his colleagues developed ways to target ads to users, which helped raise Twitter's revenues and his profile. By the time Dorsey returned to Twitter as CEO in 2015, Agrawal was already an influential engineer in the company, according to reporting by the New York Times. Mr. Agrawal also managed Twitter's effort to incorporate cryptocurrencies into the platform. In 2017, Twitter promoted Mr. Agrawal to Chief Technology Officer. Agrawal's experience working on the product side helped assuage investors who feared the company was stagnating. In November, when Twitter co-founder and CEO Jack Dorsey announced he was stepping down, he also named his successor, Parag Agrawal. A Twitter veteran, many saw Agrawal as a natural fit to replace.
All right. I don't, Phil, you said you sent a message to me with this video on X. I don't see it anywhere. Did you put it in the CFC chat? Is that where it is? But I don't see it. I don't see it nowhere. But yeah, Musk completes his Twitter takeover, and within hours, security escorts Parag out. No goodbye, no transition, just gone. Then Musk posted a now infamous meme. Oh, I hate this crap. Then I'm going to have to do this. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, Spuds. Okay. Spuds just sent me something, but I don't know. It didn't pop up. What you sent me, and for $5, Spud says, Jim, the ICE raid in Cato, New York happened 15 miles from my house. This says 40 people detained, but that link just goes to Syracuse.com. It says page not found. I'll show you. This is what shows up when on that page. It says page not found about the raid. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. But with that, do you have a block on who you can send DMs? No, No, unless you sent it. Is it so you had to do a message request? Hold on. So you got a message request? Let me look. Message request. Okay. This must be you. Okay. All right. All right. I got it. I got it. Sorry about that. All right. Let me pull this up. All right. Here we go. I got it now. But Spuds with that $5. Now we are $20 away from the additional hour. Just $20 away for that $5 on Rumble. So smart, always solving problems. That's what they say. I'll look that up though. There's an ice raid in Cato, New York. I'll find it. Just give me a second. So congressional candidate, the AK guy, Brandon Herrera, hopes the DOJ weighing restricting gun ownership for trans people will psyop Democrats and actively defending the Second Amendment for once. So this is good. So this is a nice little video here.
If they take the guns away from the trans, how long until the authoritarians in power are going to call us all trans? I've already been called trans. A very unfortunate lighting problem at the RNC when I gave a speech there, and they were saying I was trans. So I think that there is a real problem with centralizing this type of power. And is it surprising to you that more Washington Democrats aren't standing up for trans rights in this matter?
You know, I was wondering if this was just a very, very, inflammatory take from the DOJ and what really the plan was with this. And I hope in the back of my mind that this was done intentionally to just psyop the Democrats into actually defending the Second Amendment for once.
You know what? If that's it, bravo. That would be the chef's kiss. If they take the guns away from the trans,
what's up, buddy?
how long until the authoritarians in power are going to call us all trans? I've already been called
Spuds.
trans.
I found it on Ground News.
Very unfortunate lighting problem at the RNC when I gave a speech there, and they were saying I was trans. So I think that there is a real problem with centralizing this type of power. And is it surprising to you that more Washington Democrats aren't standing up for trans rights in this matter?
You know, I was wondering if this was just a very, very, inflammatory take from the DOJ and what really the plan was with this. And I hope in the back of my mind that this was done intentionally to just psyop the Democrats into actually defending the Second Amendment for once.
You know what? If that's it, bravo. That would be the chef's kiss. If they take the gun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay, I think this is what you're talking about right here. So we'll come back to this trans thing. The Joker eyebrows are no good. Yeah, I don't like the eyebrows on Matt Gaetz. I don't know what's up with that, man. So yeah. Yeah, so to update to 86 people that are in the chat right now, 87 now. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And we are just $20 away from adding another hour to the show. You know, we got about, let's see here. According to this, we have 30 minutes till the goal ends. And if we can get $20 in the next 30 minutes, we will add another hour to the show. I extended it. Instead of it being a 2-hour show, I made it a 2.5-hour show for tonight because it's Friday night. So we would have a 3.5-hour show if we get the goal. Yep. So let's do this. So we got this story, another ice raid. Here we go from Syracuse, New York. More than 40 people detained in ice raid at Central New York factory. Governor is outraged. Federal agents and Cuyahoga County deputies at an immigration raid at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners plant in Cato on Thursday, September 4th. Yes, all that stuff, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Rumble Rants. No Venmo, though. PayPal, Cash App, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. But hopefully I'll have super tips soon. Update. Owners of the factory raided say about 70 people were detained. Oh, we're going to have to... We're going to have to read that in a second because they say they feel terrorized. So this is the original article, and then we're going to read the update. More than 40 adults were taken into federal custody. I also accept gold. Definitely. Did somebody what? Wait, what's that? Yeah, I got it right here. Oop, okay. Were taken into custody at a food manufacturing plant, including the parents of at least a dozen school-age children. Hochul issued a statement on Thursday night that she is outraged by the raid at the factory by federal agents, some masked, which she described as cruel. The immigration raid started at 9 a.m. at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners Factory at 12351 Route 34. According to an employee, the family-owned business, founded in 1978, makes specialty nutrition bars. Add Bitcoin, but no chickens. How about gold teeth? Ooh, come on now. Yeah, but former Senator Bob Menendez also accept gold bars. Why are the companies that employ illegals not shut down? That's a good question. They should be. Federal agents also conducted a raid in Fulton, Hochul said in a release on Thursday, but today Syracuse.com confirmed with Fulton Mayor James Rice that there was no raid in the community. He said he had incorrect information. Hochul said at least a dozen children may have returned home from school to an empty house. Okay, that's what would happen too if their parents got arrested for selling drugs or breaking some other laws. You know, they don't just say, oh, well, you got to let me go home because my kids are going to get out of school. That's the way it works, you know. I made clear New York will not work with federal government to secure our borders and deport violent criminals. We will never stand for masked ICE agents separating families and abandoning children. The law is the law, lady. The raid included officers from the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and the Cuyahoga County and Oswego County Sheriff's Office. Cuyahoga Sheriff's Office had its mobile command center at the factory. Cuyahoga County Sheriff Brian Shank said the raid was a U.S. Department of Homeland Security criminal investigation for felony-level crimes. He declined to provide any of the details. The Oswego Sheriff's Office did not respond to inquiries about the raid. Here's the thing. If illegal aliens are working, they're breaking numerous other laws. They're using stolen IDs, fake documents. They're, whatever it's called, impersonating people, stolen identity, identity fraud, all types of stuff. They're tax fraud, Social Security fraud. At its peak, with about 50 agents and deputies were at the factory, witnesses said some officers wore masks and many wore bulletproof vests. They're called police. That's what they do. One employee estimated 100 people were working at the time of the raid. Federal agents broke down the door with crowbars, two employees said. So what, they tried to lock them out? What are you going to do? During the raid, one employee said she saw a few women who were being detained crying and throwing up. Okay, maybe they shouldn't eat that crap that they make there. Today's raids will not make New York safer, Hochul said. Yes, it does. What they did was shatter hardworking families who are trying to build a life here, just like the millions of immigrants before them. Now, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement spokesperson did not answer questions submitted, but confirmed the raid happened. The location where the detained individuals were taken is not known. The Post Standard reached out to ICE and Homeland Security for the information. Federal agents and the Cuyahoga County deputy at the immigration raid. Every one of these people are working a job that's taking a job away from an American. That's the bottom line. They're taking money out of America's pockets. They're taking, they're probably getting paid benefits from that see you next Tuesday. Hochul. Here's the updated story. Owners of the Central New York factory raided by federal agents shocked. We feel terrorized. They should feel terrorized. They should be arrested. They should be arrested and taken to jail. Yeah, let them build a life back where they came from. Yeah. Spud said he's eaten the bars years ago. They're not very good. Jeff and Lenny Schmidt answered questions about the ICE raid that resulted in detaining about 70 workers at the Nutrition Bar Confectioners. So he's got 100 employees and 70 of them were illegals. They need to go to jail, these two, both of them. Owners of the food manufacturing plant raided by over 50 agents and law enforcement said they shocked and alarmed by the raid. Federal agents, some masked and wearing bulletproof vests, swept in and took 70 of the 150 people working. So half the people working there are illegals. Yeah, shut that business down. Lock them up. Jeff, Lenny, and Mark Schmidt, 3 brothers who own the businesses. So those 3 brothers need to go to jail. Nothing like this has ever happened in nearly 15 years that Smith is operating a business, they said. How long have you been employing illegal aliens? Is that my notifications you keep hearing? Are you guys hearing those notifications? Because that's ridiculous. I'm trying to figure out how to shut them off, and they just won't shut off. We feel terrorized. There's no explanation, said Lenny. Well, the explanation is you hired illegal aliens. At about 9 a.m. on Thursday, the agents with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and other agents raided the factory that pumps out hundreds of thousands of food bars each shift. Cayuga County and Oswego County deputies assisted in the raid. Workers said the federal agents detained anyone who was Hispanic working in the factory. Oh, really? That's what they did? Oh. Yeah. Fine the business $1 million for each illegal and charge their home country's 0.1% for each illegal. That's what I would do. I have Task Manager open. I keep closing it. It just keeps reopening. Some workers detained had government documents in their cars showing they were legally in this country, but they weren't allowed to get them before being taken away, the brothers said workers told them. Oh. Some of the employees detained were later released and began to return to the business on Friday, the brothers said. Oh.
Oh no, Jesus Christ. Ahí va la Azucena. Sí. Ahí va Azucena, ahí va Yacilda. Lo está metiendo al... Yeah. Hi, girl. ¿Por qué?
Ah, ¿por qué? Oiga, bueno,
Es que te quiero grabar.
Wow. Yeah. So the brothers said they were not in the factory when the raid started, but they rushed over when they heard about it and said agents and deputies would not allow them past the entrance. Did I press 2? Did I press 2 for Spanish? Oh, okay. Did I press 2 for Spanish? I get it now. They are going to need a bigger van. Her and the others think it's more, they say immigrants, they think will believe it. Yeah. So if they say immigrants, ¿por qué? Because illegal. Why? Dice senora. Yes. The brothers said the factory was shut down for the rest of Thursday. This morning they resumed operations, but with a very depleted workforce. The plant normally runs 24-hour a day. After the raid, the shifts were told not to come to work. The owner said they were trying to support their employees, including reaching out to some families who have children left behind. We met everyone this morning and let them know how heartbreaking it was. We're there for them. If they can't work today, if that's okay. If they want to find other work, we can help them with that too. Oh, so these guys are going to offer to help other illegals to find other work? Isn't that? I think that's a breaking the law. You're trying to help illegals find other work. Yeah. Yeah. Fluffy's press 2 for Spanish bit is gold. Yes. Bye, putas. I don't know. I've been trying to find it. Like I said, it's a new computer, and it's Windows 11. Nothing is where it used to be. I thought if I just put snooze all, no notifications, do not disturb, that it would stop, but it's not. Lenny Schmidt said he can't imagine how scared the other Hispanic workers are. If they're not illegal, there's nothing to be scared of. If you're illegal, then he's going to help them find other work. So he's breaking the law. Some of the workers have been at the company for 8 to 10 years, he said. So he's been employing illegals for 8 to 10 years. Oh, that's interesting. These are well-trained, hardworking, good people who have been taken, he said. The company, which makes snack and protein bars and meal replacement bars, employs about 220 people. 70 out of 220, that's a huge blow, no doubt. Yeah. They should be out of business. Their business should be shut down. They should be, basically confiscating all their equipment and their business, and they should be out of business. Yeah. The company should be shut down immediately. Yeah. It'd be one thing if it was 10 people out of 220, but 70 people out of 220, and that's just that shift. So then he's, like he said, there's other people that work there that are afraid to come back, that they're going to get raided again. So he's going to help them find other work. Yeah. So he's got a lot more illegals working for him, and he knows it. Cuyahoga County Sheriff said the raid was a U.S. Department of Homeland Security investigation into felony crimes, but he refused to say what crimes. Schmidt said they were told the same thing, but are unaware what crimes are being investigated. An ICE spokesperson, well, it's a felony to steal people's identity and use fake documents and stolen stuff. You know, like steal somebody's social security number and pretend you're them. That's a felony. You know, I personally think it should be a felony if you hire somebody knowingly that they're an illegal. It's called being an accomplice, definitely. Yeah, especially for up to 10 years. Yeah. ICE spokesperson will not answer questions. That's right. Won't answer none of their questions. Illegally entering the country more than once is a felony. ICE won't say how many people detained. On Thursday, ICE said more than 40 people were detained. Okay. Brothers said their hiring practices and standards are fully compliant with federal law. And they said all employees had proper documentation to work. So there you go. So they had stolen documents. If they had proper documentation, they stole it from someone. Hello. Yeah, they're the lowest. These businesses are the lowest of capitalism. Aiding and abetting and harboring, definitely. Yep, definitely. Raids like this should result in an audit of the businesses. Yeah, they should be looking at everything. They should be looking at their contributions for FICA, their contributions for tax, for taxes, the IRS. It should be in everything and seeing where there's, because they're obviously, if they know that people are illegal, they're not paying the taxes. They're not putting FICA in. They're pocketing it. Yep. Them's like their modern day slavery. Pay an American a fair wage. You have plenty of employees. If your business can't survive without exploiting illegals, so be it. That's right. That's right. They said they're particularly diligent because they know they have many migrant workers. I thought they just work in the fields, picking the crops. Who's going to pick the crops? Remember? But it seems like maybe they're building batteries at the Hyundai plant, and they're working in factories making bars. You know, might be harder to get a new Hyundai if other plants like that one are getting raided. Yeah. The owner said a lot is still up in the air for the company that was founded in 1978 by Leonard Len Schmidt and his son Mark Sr. as Incredimeal. Mark and his three sons rebranded the company in 2017 as Nutrition Bar Confectioners. The brothers don't know how many employees will come back, and they don't know if the investigation will return to the factory. Oh, well, your comments about you're going to help them find new employment, they're coming back. They question if anyone want to come to work there after what happened, and that what will have hit the market to replace some of their highly skilled practice workers if they do not return. Some people did apply for jobs on Friday. Yeah, I'm sure Americans came and said the family said they received positive messages and support from the communities. The owner said that it would be difficult for the company to bounce back. Yeah. Somebody should bounce something, all right? Look at these. You can tell. I look at all of them, and I'm saying, yeah, they're dirt bags. You guys are dirt bags, and your company should go out of business. Co-owners of the nutrition bar that like to, the guy on the far left there with the comb over hair coming front and the way he's standing there, he looks like somebody who would take advantage of illegal migrant women. Just saying. More articles on the raid of the factory. Oh, residents are surprised. They aren't hurting anyone. Yes, they are. They're hurting people. Let's see. Let's see. So here's the residents in the strongly Republican Cato surprised by the ICE raid. They aren't hurting anyone. Yeah, they are. They're hurting everyone. They're here illegally. Mike Davis wishes the people who were taken in the raid were just left alone. They just want to work. Oh, so we just let anybody who wants to work come in, you fucking retard? Then you ain't got a job either, you dummy, you old fucking boomer. Look at them. We need these people here so that I can live and fuck, I don't care about anybody below me. I just want to get my shit. Since I already made mine, fuck everybody else. I've had it with these people. I really have. An immigration raid that detained 70 people at the food manufacturing plant Thursday happened in a county and town that strongly backed Donald Trump. He said he was deporting the people. What did you think he meant? It was a fucking... Oh, you think this is a Russian mob? These people are all connected to Russian mob? Could even be a RICO Act violation. Yeah, it could. Oh, so now these guys want me to join? No, we're not going to join. We're going to do this. residents are surprised. Yeah, this old fucker should go fuck himself because federal immigration raid detained 70 people at the plant Thursday, Hennepin County, that strongly supported Donald Trump. He said he was deporting all the illegals. I don't know what part of that you didn't understand about all or illegal. Did you not? And I'm sorry. Doesn't matter if they're here, they just want to work for a better place. Cuyahoga County went 56 for Trump. One of Trump's key issues during the election in the first months of his administration had been to crack down on illegal immigrants. He said he was going to crack down. I don't care for him. Don't crash out like Alex Jones. I don't crash out. The Post-Standard talked to 6 people in the center of the tiny hamlet 3 miles from the road, the town of 2,600 people. 6 residents interviewed in the tiny hamlet of Cato. Why do they keep calling it a tiny hamlet? A small collection of homes and stores were surprised by the raid. No one spoke out in favor of it, and some were not happy about it. Mike Davis, a Navy veteran and lifelong Cato resident, was outraged by the raid. He said he knew some of those who were taken, and they were from Guatemala, so they can go back to Guatemala. They aren't hurting anyone. Yeah, they are. They're using stolen documents. They're breaking the law. Nobody's above the law. They pose no threat to anyone. Yeah, they do. How do you know they're not out there raping and killing people? You don't know that. Or driving drunk and killing people. Tyler Jodway, a gas attendant at the oil company, local gas station, says he regularly interacts with the employees and he would get gas as they'd get gas on the way to work. He describes them consistently friendly and respectful. Oh. Ray Blaylock, owner of the Busted Yoke, the town's central diner, said he didn't know anyone affected, but he never expects something like this to happen in Cato. Well, did you expect them to hire a bunch of illegals? Because that's what they're doing. Maybe you should be looking at these people and looking into them and ask them why they're exploiting illegal aliens that shouldn't be in the country. And so this guy, Jodway, Blaylock, and Ray, who runs Main Street Wine and Liquor, all expressed concerns for how the loss of potential customers coming through the town could affect their businesses. All these people are just, they don't care. It's like, oh no, I don't care if they're legal. I want my money. Pay me. Be my customers. Wow. All the people detained were Hispanic, they said. Okay. They were all legal aliens. What are we supposed to do? Say, what's up, KJab? How you doing? Thanks for what? What did I do? Yeah. And they work for cheap. You suck, good sir. Definitely. Few of the employees detained were later released and began to work, turn to business on Friday. And ICE spokesman would not answer questions. The Post-Standard included what crimes were being investigated. ICE also wouldn't say how many people they detained. Hamlet inspires, it's isolated. Yeah, I know, but they said it twice in the first 2 lines of the paper, so to me that means they should buy a fucking thesaurus. Don't bother joining, it's a commie paper. Oh, I didn't join, I just gave them the old archive twist. More articles on the raid. If you purchase a product, yeah, all right, so whatever. So there's that, And this is on to this next story, which I thought was very interesting. It says, shot. 3,000 teachers begged for donations for basic classroom supplies. Chaser, nation's 2 largest teachers union, funneled nearly $50 million to left-wing groups. So teachers are always complaining about they don't have enough money. They don't have enough money, to buy stuff, and that they need help, and they need, to use their own money, and that they don't have enough money. Maybe, just maybe, then these teachers unions should stop giving millions and millions of dollars just to Democrats all the time. Because it doesn't seem to be working out. It's not helping anything. Yeah. So see, 3,000 teachers begged for donations for basic classroom supplies, despite New York City's record-breaking per pupil spending. They're spending all this money, and where's it going? And then, nation's 2 largest teachers union funneled $50 million to left-wing groups. Wow. The public unions expert says the NEA spends 10% of its budget on less than 10% of its budget on representational activities. They spend 90% of their budget on, Democrats are on the wrong side of every 80-20 issue, so it makes sense they pick the wrong side of right to work, too. On August 2024, a Rasmussen poll found that 82% of registered voters opposed compulsory union dues. That's right. New York City spends $35,000 per student. The annual charade that there's no money for school supplies and teachers have to pay for them is old and tiresome. My donations to local teachers are suspended. The priorities teachers allow their unions to choose are not for the children. Teachers union dumps more than $43.5 million into liberal advocacy. Yep, that's right. Look at these. 3,000 teachers beg for donations for basic supplies despite their record-breaking per pupil spending. Hey, there's 91 people here. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. You found a lefty channel that attacks Pimp Pool. You're going to subscribe so you control it. Over under how long you survive without getting banned. The left, honestly, left-wing people, they're going to ban you right away. That's how they roll. You should see a list that they give the parents on what they need to buy their kids. It's 3 pages long. 2 exes and an old neighbor are teachers, all awfuls, and are all the most radical lefties, you know. Yeah, that's usually how it works, though. Usually how it works. Hey, it's after midnight. It's after midnight. We gonna make it all hang out after midnight. We got 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to meet the goal, people. Just $20. Just $20. $20, and we go for an extra hour. You know, who doesn't want to have a 3.5-hour show instead of a 2.5-hour show for just $20? That's it. You know, Rumble Rants. YouTube super chats, memberships, super stickers. You know, if you want to be really nice, you give a gifted membership to people, you know, and then they get a membership. We get a longer show, you know. Well, that's how that works. You know, so far, you know, we've had two Rumble Rants come in and a couple YouTube. One big, someone gave away 5 YouTube memberships, which was $30, and then a couple other YouTube, a couple $5, and then we had a 10 and a 5 in Rumble. But you know, it says teachers get to write off $250 on their taxes every year. Teachers vote to increase property taxes for schools. They're taxing us out of our home and head to retirement. That's right. More than 3,000 New York City teachers. Hey, look at that. KJAB with a $4.99 super sticker. So that's $5 off the banner. Thank you very much. Now it's $15. We're $15 away from going an extra hour. $15. Yeah, more than 3,000 New York City school teachers are begging for donations for basic classroom supplies, even as the City Department of Education is projected to spend a record-breaking $42,000 per pupil when students return on September 4th. Wow, that's a lot of money. There's 90 people here. Wow. Hit the like, please. Teacher Sherry Jackson is one of the... Look at Bella's over here shaking her leg, saying, please donate. Teacher Sherry Jackson is one of the 3,385 city educators relying on online fundraising platform Donors Choose to fund items outside of their school's budget beyond what they already spend out of their own pockets. Erica Yonks, an art teacher. She's asking for money for bandages, hygiene products like deodorant and menstrual pads, and warm clothing. Oh, look at FlatX says our transition meds back on the school list. On that back to school list. I hope not. Most of that $42,000 is spent on administrative, not classroom. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The schools now, they have numerous vice principals, counselors, and all these different things, which counselors are okay, but they have all these different administrators and they're just sucking up all the money. It's like for every new teacher they hire, they have like 3 administrators. But now we're down to $10, folks. We are $10 away right now. $10 away from an additional hour. Just $10. Okay? We've got 5 minutes left for $10. Okay. I cannot go and be like, hey, Department of Education, I need Band-Aids and I need sanitary napkins to have in my classroom because my students are starting their cycles and they need supplies. They look at me like that's not important, but it is. Said Jackson, a teacher who teaches 5th grade at KI KIP All Middle School in Mott Haven, where 85% of the students receive free or reduced price lunches. Well, maybe if they stop putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms, they could actually put them in the girls' bathrooms for the girls that need them. I don't know. Just saying. We have to pay for things out of pocket that are not being given to us. That's why I rely on Donors Choose. Okay. What is this? Top secret Navy SEAL Team 6 killed North Korean civilians during failed covert mission. Well, that's a... that's a story I'm going to want to check out. Definitely. All right, here we go. Oh, look at this. We got it right here. So we got Slow-Mo Savage gifted 1 membership, and Slow-Mo Savage became a membership. So I think that's, let me look. Let me see here. So I think that might be it right there. Sherry Ward received a gifted membership, and Slow-Mo Savage. So I think that's 4 and 4. No, that's 6 and 4. That's $10. That's it. That's it. That's the goal. We've hit the goal, people. We've hit the goal thanks to Slow-Mo Savage. We've hit the goal. Well, right now with the gifted membership, which was $5.99, and then he became a member for $4. That is $10. That is the goal, people. So we've hit the hour. We are now $75 away from the second additional hour. New channel to me. Oh well, we're just here checking everybody out, and we're just saying hi. And Grip says it's pretty decent here, especially when the host is interacting with the chat. Well, I try to be interactive. I try to be interactive. Let's see, is there anything in the ghetto? Anybody in the ghetto like Grip? If someone does a Rumble rant, just let me know. Somebody Spuds or Grip or somebody. Let me do this. Hold on. I try. So yeah. Oh, and let me see here. Erica Young's an art teacher at the high school for law advocacy and community justice on the Upper West Side. Also needs hygiene products plus art supplies. There's no other profession where you're expected to provide literally the basics that you need to do your job on your own, let alone what the kids need too. I mean, here's the thing though: wouldn't the kids have to provide their own stuff too? Like, I mean, there's things that the school shouldn't be providing whatsoever. You know, the 11th to 12th grade teacher says she gets around $400 from her school to spend on supplies for approximately 150 students. That's $3 per student. And under the Teacher's Choice Program, the DOE afforded each teacher a $235 reimbursement for supplies this year if instructors turn in receipts. The reimbursement amount this year has not been set, but many educators say the fund only covers a fraction of what they expect to spend throughout the school year. The district funds schools on an equity-based per pupil funding model. Equity-based. Oh, isn't that nice? Equity-based. Mm-hmm. Oh, Spud says, you're doing a good job. We wouldn't be here if you didn't. Well, I try. I'm trying, you know. Yep. Alligator Alcatraz stays open, Fled. Stays open. District funds equity-based. So that's always great when it's equity-based, not, I need basic teacher stuff, highlighters, pens, pencils, and copy paper. So it's a battle of spending on my budget on logistical teacher needs and art stuff that I want the kids to experience. You have a theory that Hyundai is planning on building a plant in Uganda. Well, it's possible. Could be. The Citizen Budget Commission projects the DOE will shell out $42,168 per pupil this year. Wow. Up from last year's $40,000. Yet New York City teachers' request on donors choose is already up to a collective $4 million. No No teacher should have to fundraise for basic supplies, said the Manhattan Institute fellow Daniela Sueza Garova of the absurd need to crowdsource. It's just another sign of the DOE's incompetence in management funding. Well, that stuff can happen. It could be incompetence. It could be other stuff, Mhm. We are proud to provide our schools with the resources they need to support their students and provide a world-class education. In addition to free school meals for every student, dedicated faculty teams, facilities teams that keep our schools clean, and school nurses equipped to step in when needed. A DOE spokesman said, we commend our educators who choose to go above and beyond, raising extra funds for their classrooms and collecting extra resources for students who need them. Definitely. Yeah, so let me do this. So we're going to go on to the next one here. But so that goal ended. We're going to start another goal for one more hour. For another 15 Teal Super Chats for 1 hour. 1 hour. Okay. So I started another goal for another hour. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and get crazy. We're just going to say that I started a goal, and if we get another 75, we'll add a second additional hour. That's how that works. So let's go to this next story here. And it's basically the same thing. The Daily Caller says top teachers union funded millions in member dues to pro DEI and trans orgs. So instead of doing that, why wouldn't they world-class education, they can't read a grade level. Yeah, I saw a story too, which maybe I'll pull up after this, about Chicago changed the standards for what is illiterate. So that way they could, because that was like only 40% or something like that, or like 40%, only 40% of the kids could actually read at a grade level or something like that, like 40%. And so they changed what that actually means, and they got it up to 52%. Forging Freedom says, I'm getting taxed to death on property taxes with a major majority of that going to schools. Something is very, very wrong. Top heavy administration schools like the Taj Mahal, ridiculous. Yeah, some of the schools are crazy what they're doing. They're built, like these crazy things. So yeah, protect our public schools. The two largest teachers union in the nation have funneled millions of dollars from membership dues towards leftist political organizations supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, gender ideology initiatives, and other leftist groups, a new report found. Combined, the AFT and the NEA have given $43,524,123 since 2022 to left-wing political organizations, such as $100,000 to the Trevor Project, an organization that supports affirming gender-confused children. Yeah, see, they got plenty of money for that stuff. They have the, to get like the gender stuff, like the chest binders and to change the clothes so that the kids can change their gender in school. No one knows. They do have all the money for that, but not for like stuff that they actually need. See, I hate the Daily Caller. It does this with these black screens on, and it just pisses me off. The latest expose on teachers' union spending. See, I can't read this. What the fuck, man? Reinforces what they are focused on, advancing ideological mandates and pushing left-wing policies that are unpopular with the American public. Yeah, AFT and NEA did not respond for comment. Okay. Yeah. And the New York Post says teachers union dumped more than $43.5 million into liberal advocacy. That's right. Charles says to all the 88 members in chat, 88, 88. We are 75 away from a 4.5-hour show. That's right. Sydney Sweeney Born, a boon for American Eagle. She's a boon for me too. I'll give her some boon. I'd like to give her some poon boon, that's for sure. The two largest teachers union in America gave more than $43.5 million to liberal advocacy groups over a 2-year period. Yeah, it's right there. The AFT and NFT shelled out the money. $43 million per a defending education report. The cash windfall went to lefty groups that back gun control, support racial equity, and gender transitions for minors, as well as abortion access. This lady is one of the most evil people in the planet. What was inappropriate? What are you saying? Sorry. I guess I have to find this and close it again. I don't know where it opened up again. What is all this service host stuff in here? What the hell is going on here? What is happening here? I swore I had this shut off to not start. Why is it? What is going on? I have it disabled. Why is it popping up? It's not supposed to even be started. Yet it keeps making that damn noise on me. Anyway, oh, look at this. Sylvia comes in with a $5 super sticker. Thank you very much. I have the best black screens. It's crazy, isn't it, how they do that? I'm confused. I am confused. I'm sorry. I apologize. Now we're $70 away from the second additional hour. Thanks to Sylvia with the $5 super sticker. Yeah, Windows 11 is shit, and it's driving me crazy. Seriously, it's driving me nuts. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. I can't. It's like I don't know. It's so counterintuitive. It does not work. You know, when your PC's acting up, you blame gremlins. Yeah, this is a brand new $5,000 computer, and it's pissing me off. Union dues can't be forwarded to political campaigns, though voluntary contributions can be made toward action funds that are supported by the members. On its website, the NEA condones political activism so long as it's not in service of any event deemed outrageous and offensive, though it's unclear where the union bosses draw that line. Oh, what's this? What's the note's got to say? Yeah, I got a 5090. And I don't know. We'll see if I like it or not. I don't know. All right, Jim and company, we have a huge lightning storm we are working in, so I've got to put away my phone so it doesn't pocket dial 911. It's been fun seeing you all. See you all Monday. Okay. Well, I'll be here Saturday and Sunday night too, just so you know. Why? Is it the 5090 that's calling the problems, Rilzik? Is that what's doing it? Is it the 5090? Sarah Perry, Vice President and Legal Fellow at Defending Education, said in a statement, the audit sheds much needed light on exactly what the NEA and AFT prioritize, and it isn't America's school kids. Yeah, be safe. Be safe. Lightning is no joke. Teachers' unions don't educate kids. They seemingly exist for no other reason than to spend money, complain about parental involvement in their kids' education, and advance left-wing causes wholly unrelated to improving educational outcomes in American schools. Yeah. Windows GUI designers are the devil. I think so. You're waiting until Cyber Monday? Yeah. You think Phil thinks the Windows 11 is pretty good? To be honest, best version they've had in years. Well, I liked 7 and 10 I could deal with. But anyway, they had there was a great deal, Rilzik, that was going on at the Corsair store. They were offering like $1,000 off a computer, which probably just meant they marked it up by $1,000 for. Yeah, way to go, chat. You hit the goal. You hit the first goal. That's right. First goal was hit. We're working on a second goal right now. Second goal. Second goal. Second goal. Says thanks. He'll try to be here this weekend, but since he travels for work, it's normally the time reserved for my woman. Well, you know, Windows NT is still the best version, though. Okay. The contributions including $9 million from both AFT and NEA for the left wing for our Future Action Fund PAC, which operated primarily in the 2024 battleground space. So they gave $10 million towards the battleground states. And World War II, even brand new planes had gremlins. Yes, they did. Another 1.6 million was funneled from them to the House Majority PAC, Senate Majority PAC, and a Future Forward PAC, and the Democrat nominee Kamala Harris's White House campaign. A big backer of former President Joe Biden's 2020 campaign as well. AFT President Randy Weingarten caught flack in the early years of his administration for pressuring public health officials to keep schools closed. That's right. She was the one saying, don't open the schools, but pay us. But don't open the schools. Keep the kids at home. Mm-hmm. Both AFT and NEA also pushed the Biden White House administration health officials to delay reopening of in-person learning in 2021. Bombshell emails and records obtained from congressional investigations showed in 2023. Weingarten also misrepresented scientific studies demonstrating it was safe for kids to be back in classrooms when testifying about COVID to Congress, according to the scientific authors of that research. Only in early 2022 did the Biden administration announce that 95% of the U.S. public schools have returned to full-time in-person learning. That's right, man. Almost 2 years they kept them out of school. Almost 2 years they kept them out of school. That's nuts. Another $500K went to the 1630 Fund, a nonprofit managed by the dark money network Arabella Advisors, which we have talked about numerous times on this program. President Trump on Wednesday called for a liberal billionaire George Soros and his son Alex to face racketeering charges for their affiliation with dark money organizations, including 1630, that contributed more than $20 million to groups funding protests against this month's DC crime crackdown. That's right. All these groups are funding, and it's just Democrats' money and everything, and they're funding all the protests against Elon Musk and the stuff that you see, the No Kings protests. It's all coming from these people. All them. They're all evil sumbitches. Additionally, the NEA gave $100,000 to the Trevor Project. Yeah, it's a transgender youth thing. Some moms have accused of pushing preteen children towards gender transitions. Yeah. Yep. It's a good start, tar and feather. It's been a long case. The teachers union have been hyper-political and giving 99% of their donation to Democrats. What this report reveals is that they're also giving massive amounts of money to far-left organizations and causes that fight against academic excellence and inject harmful ideology into everything they touch. Mm-hmm. Yep. Look at that kid diddling sniffer. Nearly 40% of NEA's budget goes towards political advocacy. 40% of their money goes to political advocacy. Yeah. That's insanity. You'd think in light of the decline in union membership in recent years, they'd start providing value to the members that outweighs the cost of membership. Nope, they don't. Instead, they are appeasing the radical base of union members by advocating for men and women's sports, transitioning minors, anti-Semitism, and other radical ideological stances. In 2020, AFT gave more than $2.6 million to Democrat candidates. NEA contributed $2.4 to Dems over the same period. Wow. Mm-hmm. And it keeps going. Anti-charter teachers union cashing in on donations to lefty politicians to kill Kathy Hochul's plan, critics say. Right. Well, this guy, Senator Brad Holloman, has raked in $47,000 since 2017 through State Teachers Union's Political Action Committee. Mm-hmm. And Andrew Cuomo touts charter school support, which Zohran Mamdani opposes. Mm-hmm. The fundraising arm of the state's teachers union lavished more than $400,000 on Democrat legislatures championing its anti-charter school agenda, part of an $8 million plus that has poured into predominantly left-wing political coffers since 2017. More than 30 state legislators whose campaign funds are filled with deep pocket donations from the New York State United Teachers Political Action Committee have been on the front lines opposing Governor Kathy Hochul's bid to bring Big Apple more charter schools since she announced the proposal earlier this month. Among the recipients are a Voice of Teachers for Education, Senator Brad Holloman, collected $47,000, and then you got this John Mannion, who scored $40,000. Robert Jackson, another $27,000. The polls have been beating the drum against charter schools at rallies, public hearings. I mean, I understand why would anybody oppose to charter schools? They're actually teaching kids stuff. Brad is a communist, push congestion pricing in Manhattan. Yeah, there's all scumbags. I don't like this broad, though. Hochul. He sucks. New York City needs to focus resources and attention on our traditional public schools, not increasing the burden by allowing a flood of new charter schools into the city. These people, they don't like competition, and they think if something's better that they're going to lose their stuff. So it's like, oh no, we give us the money even though we're doing a shitty job, and don't let other people come in. Mm-hmm. Albany insiders and political pundits say there's little doubt that NYSUT, which opposes charter schools because they don't have employee unionized teachers, is now cashing in on its longtime financial support of state Democratic legislatures and their lefty causes. New York State Union teachers, or whatever, unified teachers, isn't even a 500-pound gorilla in the room. They're a 2-ton Godzilla in Albany, and you mess with them at your own peril. Well, politicians are usually in the business of giving constituents what they want. There's thousands and thousands of families waiting out these charter lotteries, banking that their kids get accepted. But this is the one issue where Albany politicians actually go against the will of the voters who voted them in based on the money they get from New York SUT and others teachers unions. Mm-hmm. Ken Girardin, a fellow with the taxpayer watchdog group Empire State for Public Policy, said that the teachers union views charter schools as an existential threat, so it isn't surprising to see them call every chip, marker, and favor to try to stop them. There are 276 charter schools currently operating in New York City. That's a decent amount. Democrat governor's record $227 billion budget proposal. Wow. That's a lot of money for a state budget, $227 billion. I mean, I remember not that long ago, the United States budget was like, $500 billion, $600 billion in the 80s. Yeah. Would abolish the city's regional cap and allow operators to seek approval for 85 new charters in 5 boroughs. Hochul's plan would also unlock permit for the 21 long-shuttered zombie charter schools across the state, which could also be located in the city. Changes in charter rules via the state budget must be approved by the Senate and Assembly, both controlled by Democrats. Giles is right. He says we put soldiers for a minimum pay in harm's way, but our teachers don't think it's safe to teach our kids. Yeah, well. Yeah. So John Mannion received $40,000 from Vote Cope, so they're really coping. It says Mannion won in 24 by lying about abortion, telling women that Trump will take their right away, even though you can abort up until birth. Nutsoot headquarters is a gilded palace. Been there a few times. Some of my friends are conservative teachers and they don't want to be part of the union because they know where the funds go, but if they don't participate, they will be ostracized. Well, it's unclear whether Hochul's plan will prioritize a charter cap increase once horse trading begins during the state budget talks, or if she has enough collateral to sway Democrat lawmakers on the issue. Complicating matters for her is Mayor Eric Adams, who sides with Hochul on most issues, but has complained the city can't afford to fund more charter schools. Since 2017, Vote Cope has raised more than $40 million through voluntary donations collected from teachers' paychecks and pensions of retired teachers, according to records. Wow. That's a lot of money. So these teachers complaining that they need money and they have to raise money and do this stuff. Stop giving them this money and you won't have this problem. The teachers and its parent union, AFT, uses the money to fight charter school expansion. And they said, Gerardin says Vote Cope's donation collection system serves no public interest, but instead adds more unnecessary work for public school payroll offices while saving the millions of dollars in yearly transaction fees. About 15% of the cash was collected from state and city retirees. Wow. Maybe their retirement benefits are too good then, if they're able to just give away 15% of their money. It's like they're tithing it like it's a church almost. They're tithing. The PAC's payments to other big Democratic, Big Apple-based state legislators fighting charter school expansion include Gustavo Rivera of the Bronx, Cordell Clear of Manhattan, John Leo of Queens, and Senate Committee Jabari Brisport, a Brooklyn socialist, a communist. Senator Jessica Ramos of Queens, Assemblywoman Rodneyessa Berecheta Hermelian, and Senator Julia Salazar, a Brooklyn socialist commie. Yeah, they also received 11,000 donations, respectively, directly from Nutsut. Besides mandating the other upstate legislators opposed charter schools have also had campaigns boosted by Vote Cope. Mm-hmm. AFT is Randy Weingarten, and NEA, I think it is National Educators Association. That's the she's recharging her batteries. Yeah, and it's that other woman, I can't think of her name, but anyway, Vote Cope has handed out at least 570,000 to them. So they got all this money. We got plenty of monies. We got monies. Yeah, so here's the Geller report says teachers union buy Democrats with 50 million. It's time to defund the teachers unions. So basically you see where we're going here. The teachers unions buy Democrats with 50 millions. They all sound like crooks. Yes, they're all crooks. Yes, she's recharging her batteries. Got this story, which I thought was I saw this. I said, what? Top secret SEAL Team 6 killed North Korean civilians during failed covert mission in 2019. This, why am I just finding out about this now? A group of Navy SEALs secretly entered North Korea in early 2019 to plan a device to intercept the communications of dictator Kim Jong-un, but ended up firing on unarmed civilians during diving for shellfish, puncturing their lungs to conceal their bodies, and aborting the mission. Top secret mission, reportedly authorized by President Trump during his first term, was carried out by SEAL Team 6's Red Squadron, the same unit that killed Osama bin Laden. Oh. Yeah, fail your way to wealth these days. That's right. If successful, the mission could have delivered critical intelligence amid a delicate nuclear negotiation between Kim and Trump, the outlet reported, based on interviews with 24 people, including civilian government officials, members of the first Trump administration, and current and former military personnel with knowledge of the mission. I'm pretty sure that whoever is leaking this information is breaking the law. I'm pretty sure that this is like SC, like skiff only, eyes only, need to know type of thing. Not even, it doesn't even qualify for like top secret. This is like Uber level, like need to know. Hold on. 1 second. I'll be right back. I got to do something real quick. Let me, there's damn it. I'm looking for a video to play. I know I just had a 4-minute video. Here we go. The activist class dominated the Biden administration and turned off the country, leading to Democrat Kamala Harris's defeat in November. Moderate-leaning Democrats have launched futile efforts to distance themselves from the toxic Marxist brand of gender ideology, climate alarmism, radical racial division, and technocratic government. Consulting group Third Way has published a list of words Democrats should avoid, all terms related to ideology on the activist left. They have a list of words to avoid. Arabelle Advisors, a 1630 fund, and a network of foundations set up by Hungarian-American billionaire George Soros. He's just a Hungarian. He's not an American. I'm not claiming him. and now run by his son Alex, helped to bankroll the woke activist groups pushing this ideology. The Biden administration propelled these nonprofits into positions of influence in the government and seemed to endorse every woke cause imaginable. Many influencers agree with parts of this ideology, but as individuals, they prefer to pick and choose, crafting their own takes that gain them attention and views. Some of them may moderate toward third way, but I suspect most of them largely walk in lockstep on these issues. I can't believe I'm saying all this, but I'm grateful to Taylor Renz for exposing this move. I hope many left-wing influencers notice it for what it is. For far too long, the left has acted as though the only dark money activism is on the right, with the likes of Charles Koch and Leonard Leo. In reality, the left's dark money network is larger, partially because the left represents the party of America's woke elites. The more left-leaning influencers wake up to the dark money on the left and realize this attempt to co-opt their voices, they won't start supporting Trump, but they might think twice about the institutional structure that upholds the woke ideology. And if that helps them question whether the world is ending because of climate change or whether a man can become a woman by just saying, I'll consider that a win. Oh God. All right, I want to see this. This is Kimberly Guilfoyle. I don't know what's happened to her. She looks.
Now, a Democrat consulting group called Third Way put out a memo listing words Democrats should stop using. The list includes words like privilege, systems of oppression, and pregnant people, among many others. What does this tell you?
Yeah, I mean, I think this tells me that some people on the left really do understand just how much of an albatross these woke policies are around the necks of the Democratic Party. But I have no confidence that they're going to actually listen to this memo. I mean, the people who are driving the Democratic Party right now, you have Gavin Newsom, who's at the forefront of pretty much everything. And then you have Mamdani, and you have many people out there who are just doubling down on woke. Even Abigail Spanberger here in Virginia, she's
No, wrong one. Where am I at here? I can't find the damn thing. Here we go. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, people. I had to go take care of something real quick. And so we'll get. If successful, the mission could have delivered critical intelligence amid a delicate nuclear negotiation between Kim and Trump. The outlet reported based on interviews with 24 people. Okay, so we read that. So the mission was so risky that it required Trump's direct approval. If SEALs were caught on North Korean soil, it could have sunk nuclear negotiations or led to a hostage situation. I don't know anything about it. I'd have to, look into it, but I know nothing about it. Trump told reporters Friday when asked about the alleged mission. So Trump was Bella does snore, yes. Vegans see how Rumble now. Someone hides the follow button. Okay. Cool. I love how Bella gives 0 F's. My pups are on me in a hot minute, not sleeping with me, walking out of the room. Nah, I'm out. I'm sleeping. Yeah, yeah, Bella tells you in the news channel. That's her. So Trump said he doesn't know anything about it. Yeah, everybody get your Powerball tickets for tomorrow. 1.8 billion. It's a lot of dim. I don't know anything about it. I'm hearing about it for the first time. The SEALs rehearsed the mission for months in freezing water and planning to deploy from a nuclear-powered U.S. submarine using 2 stealth mini-subs known as wet subs to reach the North Korean coast. Riding for hours in frigid 40-degree salt water with scuba gear and heated suits. A team of about 8 SEALs would swim to shore, planting a device, and stealthily escape with the help of overhead drones. And in February 2019, that Trump set to meet with Kim in Vietnam later that month. He greenlit the mission and the plan commenced. But the mission quickly unraveled once SEALs were ashore. A North Korean fishing boat unexpectedly appeared in the darkness with no way to communicate with the mission commander, and fearing imminent discovery, a senior enlisted SEAL opened fire with the other SEALs following suit, killing everyone on board. Uh-oh. The fact that this was being reported is kind of messed up, though. SEALs then pulled the bodies into the water to conceal them and reportedly punctured their lungs with knives so that they would sink. 2 to 3 civilians on a fishing boat were believed to be unarmed and diving for shellfish. SEALs never planted a device or were forced to abort the mission. U.S. spy satellites detected a surge in North Korean military activity in the area immediately afterward, but it's not clear whether North Korean authorities ever pieced together what happened to the shellfish divers. Absolutely not, Steve. They smell disgusting. Definitely press F to doubt that. Trump's talks with Kim at the Vietnam summit happened as planned, but no deal was reached. By mail, North Korea resumed missile tests. The 2019 mission had never been publicly acknowledged until the bombshell report. The U.S. government did not notify key congressional intelligence committees before or after the mission, which may have violated federal law, experts told the Times. The point is to ensure Congress is kept in the dark when major stuff is going on. Isn't kept in the dark. Yeah, but Congress will leak it. So that's probably, you know what this probably happens? This is probably Congress that leaked the shit. This is exactly what kind of thing would be normally be briefed to committees, and something the committees would be expected to be told about. Many people involved in the mission were later promoted. The SEAL mission was intended to fix strategic blind spots in U.S. intelligence, as agencies have long struggled to monitor the North Korean leadership or cultivate human sources in the dictator-run country. Yeah, Adam Schiff would have definitely leaked it. When former President Joe Biden succeeded Trump, the North Korean mission attracted renewed scrutiny. Biden's Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered an independent investigation to be conducted by Lieutenant General in charge of the Army's Inspector General office. Oh, so that's who. Oh, so all these people. This is how more people found out about it. You know, Biden administration briefed key members of Congress on the findings, but the findings remain classified. The investigation's findings remain classified. So how did it get out now? Somebody leaked it. White House and U.S. Navy did not respond to a request for comment from the Post. It sounds fake. This is a high-risk mission for something that wouldn't really matter. Does Kim just mumble to himself about nukes? We already know everything we need to know. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Here we go. This is just in. For the first time, populist right-wing parties are leading in the polls in UK, France, and Germany. And just like that, they start killing a bunch. I mean, a bunch of not killing, but a bunch of them start dying. In other words, normal people have had enough with the leftist sociopaths. Europe is truly ready for change. I hope UK leads the way. England has had enough of their leadership. They are protesting and marching against immigrants in their country. One man asked President Trump to intervene for the UK. Oh. Oh no, there's no way to mute that. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, so they're protesting and doing this stuff, and which only means one thing: the leaders of those parties are about to get arrested by the governments of the UK, France, and Germany. That's probably going to happen. Yeah. Michael Schelmer says Frederick Merz is in violation of NATO charter for preventing AFD from running for mayor. North Atlantic Treaty says democracy, individual liberty, and the rule of law. Yeah, the story didn't make a lot of sense. They had no plan for an unexpected arrival of a fishing boat in the waters. They fish at night. The North has fishing, no communicating with mission team. Why did it fail? Yeah, something doesn't. The story doesn't make any sense. We'll admit that. Meanwhile, there's a second AFD candidate disqualified. So they keep disqualifying candidates. If they can't disqualify them, they're just mysteriously dying. Yeah, just mysteriously dying. And we got this story, which was interesting. Fake unity exposed. China, Russia, and India just staged a show of solidarity at the SCO summit. But beneath the smiles and handshakes, the cracks are huge. And those cracks are America's opportunity. Trump knows it. Xi Jinping strutted into Tianjin, preaching true multilateralism, opposed the Cold War mentality, billions in aid and infrastructure bribes. Translation: China wants to build an anti-West bloc under Beijing's leadership, so what else is new? Right? Dial M for Hillary. Yeah. It says it doesn't fit with the meme that Navy SEALs fuck up missions for stupid reasons. Oh, it does fit with the meme. Let the SEALs fuck up, yeah. Putin played backup singer, blaming NATO and the West for his invasion of Ukraine, but Russia's ultimate partnership with China is a marriage of desperation. When Ukraine winds down, even Moscow knows Europe needs Europe more than Beijing. All right. India, total different story. Yes, Modi smiled, walked hand in hand with Putin, and joined the summit, but he skipped Xi's parade. He knows China is India's number one threat, from border clashes to Beijing's alliance with Pakistan. Mm-hmm. India's doctrine is strategic autonomy. They'll lean toward whatever offers them the most benefit at the time. But long term, the math is simple. 11 of the world's top 15 economies are democracies aligned with the U.S. India knows where prosperity lies. Remember, India still depends on Chinese and Russian supply chains. That makes a clean break risky, politically and economically. But give it time. Trajectory is clear, closer to America, further from Beijing. Border bloodshed tells the real story. In 2020, India and Chinese soldiers fought with clubs and stones in the Galwan Valley. 20 Indians died. They still hold 1/5 of Kashmir. No amount of summit smiles erases the reality. India does not trust China and never will. Yeah, see? They're fighting about the stuff there. Mm-hmm. The China-Russia-India alliance would lead the world. It'd win. All three are hedging back and forth. Yeah. In that picture is Modi holding Putin's hand on Putin's crotch. I don't know. Let's see. What are you talking about? I don't know. I think it looks like they're holding hands. Controlled by China, claimed by India, this whole area, and controlled by India and claimed by China, this whole area. So they're like, they're like fighting over stuff. Russia doesn't trust China either. Well, they shouldn't, because China has ambitions on getting the northern resource area, which is Siberia. It's just a correlation as systematic corruption gets exposed, and then there's more, Potato Biden says. We spent the entire Cold War trying to prevent a Russia-China axis. That's what makes our Ukraine policy so infuriating. Yeah, it's nuts, right? It's nuts. It's nuts, they say. It's nuts. It's nuts, they say. Nuts, 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 nuts. Wow, why did we peak up to one and then we drop, boom, and then peaked up? Something's going on weird, man. Weird with this tonight. Tonight. Oh. Boo-doo-boo-boo-boo. Boop, 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 boop. Mm. Wow. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Russia doesn't trust China, nor should they. Xi is draining Russia's treasury of gold and yuan to pay huge prices for supplies. And while paying Russia a fraction of the market price for oil, the CCP is treating Russia as a colony, but for now, Russia is trapped. Putin to sell off Russian resources during Beijing visit, as Russia's war machine relies mostly on China. The West should stop panicking about the unstoppable bloc. It's fake unity, it's brittle. Xi and Putin may smile for cameras, but behind the curtain, they're weak, and their alliance can't last. Mm-hmm. That's his story. Oh, and this was something I saw too. Incredible work of this FBI stopped a potential school shooting. After the suspect was released on bond, we moved quickly to arrest him and secured federal charges to keep him detained and our children safe. Quick action and phenomenal intelligence work saved lives and kept families whole. Patel says the FBI stopped a potential preschool massacre, unacceptable acts of cowardice. A North Carolina man was charged with making online threats to massacre dozens of black children. Children's. I can't trust that little worm Zelensky either. Yes. What is Russia going to do in 50 years when China releases their next 9-dash line map around Vladivostok because of the conquest of Kabla Khan? Yeah, well, what will they do? And John Solomon says, this is such a big development. The FBI reportedly stopped a mass shooting before it started. They didn't wait until afterwards to say they had to shoot her on its radar. Signs of major mindset shift under Kash Patel. You think it was a trans? Possible. Possible. Did you know the police checked on the Minnesota school shooter's mom, Mary Westman, the day before in Florida? Why would they do that? Why were they concerned the day before the shooting? Huh. I didn't hear this before. Let's see.
Into the deadly Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis, we've learned the suspected shooter's mother owns this property here in Naples. I'm your community correspondent, Mahmoud Bennett, and the sheriff's office now tells us deputies visited the property on the day before the attack. Property records show this condo on Squire Circle in Naples is owned by Mary Grace Westman, the mother of the suspected shooter from Wednesday's attack up in Minneapolis. Collier County deputies now confirm they made contact with her at the property for a family welfare check the night before the attack, but say it was not related to the shooting itself.
We do know that the shooter did attend mass there previously. The shooter did attend school, and the shooter's mother was an employee of the parish previously for some time.
After the shooting in Minneapolis, CCSO tells us they went back to the condo after getting a separate call. CAD notes show a neighbor told dispatchers their friend, Mary Westman, was the shooting suspect's mother and had flown up to Minnesota. She asked deputies to make sure the back patio door was locked. We now know the sheriff's office turned over the details of that call to the FBI.
I know we have not been successful in talking to the shooter's mother yet at this time, but there continue to be efforts made to get that done.
Minneapolis authorities say they have not been able to contact Mary Westman. Fox News reports she has hired a Minnesota defense attorney who describes Westman as being distraught. At this time, Mary Westman has not been charged with any crimes. Reporting in Collier County, Mahmoud Bennett.
Mahmoud Bennett. Oh my God. Anyway, so that's interesting, but that's just one part of it, because I wanted to play that just because, since she was traveling up there, so maybe that's why they couldn't get a hold of her. Anyway, that was weird about that. They could have stopped the church shooting at Annunciation too, but didn't apparently. Huh. I see a pattern. It's not the guns. Look at them. There's a pattern. Definitely a pattern here. Definitely a pattern. Like connect four. Connect the dots. It says FBI prevented a potential preschool massacre by arresting Zachariah Charles Newell, a 25-year-old North Carolina man. Newell was taken into federal custody after an FBI tip led local law enforcement to an online threat he allegedly made to shoot up a black preschool. Details of the incident. The threat: Newell allegedly posted a hate-motivated, extremely violent threat on YouTube, which was flagged by a Google cybercrime team and reported to the FBI. The comments included threats to shoot up a black preschool and skin the victims. What the fuck? Wow, that's nuts. A location. While a specific preschool was not named in the threat, Newell was arrested in Carteret County, North Carolina, and is facing federal charges. Investigation. The Carteret County Sheriff's Office was alerted by the FBI and arrested Newell at his home. He's currently in federal custody, and additional charges from the FBI are expected. Official response in the FBI statement: Director Kash Patel confirmed that the Bureau's involvement in stopping the plot and condemned the threats as unacceptable. Unacceptable threats. That's right. Unacceptable. What I say. Unacceptable. And it's unacceptable acts of cowardice. Authorities in Carteret County state that they're no longer an active threat to any schools. Why do they play that GIF all the time? I wonder if this was an actual plot here. I wonder too. Nice work. Yeah. So we got this. This is the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota. What do you know? Protect trans kids with the knife there. Yeah, so that's she should be in jail. It's Carteret. Is it Carteret or Carteret? He was possibly targeting her as well because he was an Adam Lanza fan. Lanza's mother was the first victim. Oh. Crazy that shooter was tired of being trans. Yep. Patel reveals the FBI stopped a potential mass shooter at the North Carolina preschool. FBI Director Kash Patel on Thursday revealed that his team stopped a potential mass shooting at a preschool after a North Carolina man allegedly threatened to massacre a group of 20 black preschoolers. Suspect identified as 25-year-old Zachary Charles Newell was taken into federal custody on Monday and charged with interstate threat to kidnap or injure. Threat was allegedly made on YouTube on August 27th. Hey, my birthday. Newell posted a comment under the username Commentators Hate Me, where he allegedly stated his intention to shoot up a preschool, injuring or killing 20 black children. He also made a racist threat online the day before. What was the racist threat? No specific school was named. Threats of violence against children are beyond unacceptable acts of cowardice. The FBI worked quickly with our partners in Carteret County to ensure this individual was taken into custody before he could act. Carteret County. Parents should know that we will never hesitate to respond with urgency to protect their kids, their schools, and their communities. The arrest comes after 2 children were killed in a mass shooting in Minneapolis last month, where a shooter opened fire on a Catholic school while the students were attending Mass. The alleged shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But here's the Fox News story. FBI says they stopped a mass shooting, potential cowardice, unacceptable acts of cowardice. Kash Patel says agents thwarted a mass shooting, a potential tragedy. He was arrested Monday and charged with interstate threat to kidnap, injure. Threats of violence against children are beyond unacceptable acts of cowardice, Patel wrote. They worked quickly with their partners in Carteret County to ensure these individuals were taken into custody. Well, this is the face of the guy, Zachary Newell, facing federal charges. I wonder if he was just trying to be edgy online and went a little too far with what he said. Yeah, pretty sneaky, sis. You remember that commercial? That's what I was getting at. The day before, he allegedly posted another vicious race-related threat under the same account, which included a number of slurs. Google reported the threats to the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, linked Commentators Hate Me account to an email registered to Newell with the associated phone numbers and address. Wow, they really get you, don't they? They don't mention skin color in every instance, do they? No, they say white students were killed, do they? No, they don't. Law enforcement traced the IP account to Charter Communications in Newport, and Carteret County Sheriff's deputies confronted Newell at his home. Newell admitted making the YouTube comment, according to the complaint. So this was just a comment on somebody's YouTube chat, and that did all this? Wow. Newell was given a $30,000 bond by a state magistrate where he was able to post bond. Later that evening, the sheriff's office worked with the FBI to take him into federal custody on federal charges. North Carolina Special Agent in Charge, James C. Barnacle, said every child deserves to go to school without fear. Well, did any child know that this guy posted this comment in a chat on YouTube? I mean, was he actually going to do any of this, or was this just some guy posting some stuff in the chat? I mean, we have to acknowledge that it's possible that this was just some guy being an idiot. The comments posted by the suspect were violent, hateful, and shocking to the conscience. See, I don't conflate words with violence, but here we are with this "words are violence" crap. Our office worked swiftly to take the suspect into custody. You know, I whatever happened to the Brandenburg standard? AI is watching. Yeah, always. AI is always watching. The contents of subject-led comments were not included in this report due to their highly disturbing nature. See, that's always the thing, too, when they don't include it. So we don't know what he actually said. Was it actually that offensive, or is it just them saying it was offensive? You know? I mean, who knows? I don't know. Hey, there's 101 people here. We cracked 100. Please hit the like if you haven't already. Please subscribe. And hey, you know what? We've got about 20 minutes left, and to go for another additional hour. I think we're about $70 short of another hour, which is a lot, I guess. You know, probably all things considered. But there are multiple ways that you can contribute. You know, there's Cash App, there's PayPal, there's Rumble Rants, and there's memberships or super chats. So. Well, and I saw this story and I thought this was very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Hypocritical for John Thune to say this blockade is unlike anything we've seen. It's Trump derangement syndrome on steroids. President Trump needs his team in these key positions to implement his agenda this American people voted for in November. Yeah, but you guys made sure that he couldn't do any recess appointments.
All right, Senate Republicans are considering a rule change, making it easier to confirm President Trump's nominees and to get around Democratic obstruction. Here to tell us about it is Senate Majority Leader John Thune. You've got a problem on your hands here. I'm going to show everybody here these pie charts here so you can see the number of confirmed nominees, okay? President Trump is basically being asked to run a marathon with 20-pound weights on his ankles because he can't get his team confirmed. How is this different than what Republicans have done to Democrats in the past?
Dana, this is different from anything that's been done in history, in both when you've had Republican and Democrat presidencies and Republican and Democrat control of the United States Senate. This is unprecedented. It is historic. It is a blockade unlike anything we've seen. It is Trump derangement syndrome, totally on steroids, and it's got to be fixed. We can't sustain this. The president needs his team in place. The American people voted for that. They want him to be able to implement his agenda. He needs his people in these key positions in order to do that.
Well, yes, he needs his key positions, but why are you guys not doing anything to help him? You could have done stuff to help him, but you didn't. You didn't do what he needed. You didn't give him the what says contents redacted? What are you talking about? Where do you see contents redacted? Contents redacted, that is not very transparent. I don't know what you're talking about. Where those idiots sometimes follow through like Maxine Waters. Well, I guess so, but Maxine Waters didn't get it. So yeah, if they're going to report on it, they should include the comments so we can just for ourselves. That's right. Right. Yeah, Biden's cabinet was expedited with the help of the Republicans. Yes. Oh, Kash Patel. Yes. I understand now. They need to overlap those pie charts. We need a Venn diagrams. Yeah. And it's the same 2020 attitude from DC. Yeah, it's Thune sucks. He's a sucky, shitty man. Hey, dipshit, you ever think you are the one who F Trump? He could have used recess appointments. You said no. You are a failure. Thune could have ended the blockade on Trump appointments by giving Trump his recess appointments. Thune and Johnson both refused to give the president a recess. Democrats know you are a weak, spineless, low-T GOP. They're destroying you because they play to win. You are a loser. 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 Give me 1 second while I close some of these tabs. All right. Yes. This I thought was an interesting story. It says top Democrat says Intel visit canceled after Laura Loomer attacked him online. Mark Warner. Well, I'm like, don't make me start liking Laura Loomer, because then Laura Loomer posted this, it says, deep state trying to grab Trump, and Laura Loomer has to grab the deep state to keep him from getting to Trump. So, top Democrat says Intel visit canceled after Laura Loomer's online attacks. If Congress is deliberately stopping Trump from recess appointments, isn't that obstruction of a government procedure? Yeah, that's right. Couldn't that be you could arrest him, right? Yeah. Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chair said Wednesday that a long-scheduled classified intelligence agency meeting was canceled after far-right activist Laura Loomer attacked him online. I mean, that's stuff calling people far-right, far-left, far-potato, whatever. Trump's cabinet, Warner questioned whether Laura Loomer was a member of President Trump's cabinet, saying she was behind the firings of NSA, U.S. Cyber Command Chief, and Defense Intelligence Agency boss. Well, I don't think she was behind it. Wow, 6 minutes left to go. I don't think we're going to make the goal tonight. The second goal, that is, for a second hour. I just don't think we're going to make it. For years, I've conducted listening sessions for members of our Intel Committee as a key part of my role on the Intel Committee. Until conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer got involved and got one of my visits canceled. Who's really calling the shots in this administration? Not you. She also got 37 individual security clearances revoked by NSA and National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard after the conspiracy theorists targeted them online, Warren said in a video posted to YouTube. When is the purge going to end? It's going to end when they're all gone. It's going to end when they're all gone. When is the purge going to end? When they're all gone. Warner said to a video posted to X that Pete Hegseth has bowed down to Loomer and canceled his visit with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency headquarters in Springfield, Virginia, after she criticized him and Navy Vice Admiral Frank Trey Whitworth, the NGA's director, on the platform. Representatives for the White House and Pentagon and Office for DNI did not respond for comments. All the 96 viewers in chat. There's 97. It keeps bouncing up and down. 100 and stuff. 97, 96, 101. Addressing Gabbard, how do you feel about left of center talking shit about you while you're being welcomed inside NGA for a fireside chat? Oh, maybe. Oh, $70. That's right. We need $70 to extend the show for 4.5 hours. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think we're going to make it. Trump administration revokes clearances of 37 U.S. officials. Revoke all their clearances. Revoke them all. Revoke them all. This is crazy. This is a crazy story. Trump is trying to blackmail the Supreme Court. The legal arguments for his tariffs are weak, so he's arguing their rejection would bring ruin, writes Ankush Kardori. So this is totally American-sounding dude named Ankush Kardori says that Trump is trying to blackmail the Supreme Court. Help me explain your country's identity to you and how it might includes me. Yeah. The companies bringing the lawsuit are sponsored by foreign companies. Do we think the voters believe that these foreign countries have American citizens' interests at heart? Let's read this clowns. You have had sudden super chats for more than that, like a micro lottery win. No, I know. I've had, $50 and $100 super chats, but I haven't seen any of those people that do that stuff aren't in the chat tonight, I don't think. So I haven't seen them, the Bryans, the Marks, and I don't like to be beggy, if people want the show to continue, they want to give, they give. If they don't want the show to continue or they don't have the money, that's totally acceptable and understandable. And, it is what it is. Hey, RBM, how's it going? Trump is trying to blackmail the Supreme Court. I don't think so. The legal arguments for Trump's tariffs are weak, so he's arguing the rejection will bring ruin. Actually, the argument for the tariffs are not weak. They're very strong. Ankush Kardori. Ankush Kardori is a senior writer for Politico magazine and a former federal prosecutor at the Department of Justice. So now you're starting to see the problem with the Department of Justice and maybe other things going on there. Hey, there's 100 people here in the chat. How you doing, 100 people? Hit the like button. Please, oh, now it's down to 98. Oh, well. Donald Trump is making a last-ditch effort to salvage his beloved, beleaguered tariff policy, heading to the Supreme Court in hopes that the Republican appointees will come to his rescue. The desperation is both palpable and warranted given the conspicuous weakness of the administration's legal arguments. Well, I don't think so, as underscored by a series of lower court rulings against him. Oh, so the lower courts ruling against him means that his arguments suck because the lower courts are all suffering from TDS and crying to NBC that that the Supreme Court don't have our back and they just keep ruling against us and throw us under the bus. Make increasing histrionic public claims about what will happen if the Supreme Court doesn't cave and side with Trump. How about they just rule on the law and they say, oh, yeah, no, you guys are wrong and you suck. If the courts do not sign off on the administration's tariffs, it would be a total disaster. Trump said on Friday that the U.S. Court of Appeals for Federal Circuit ruled that the bulk of the president's tariffs are illegals. He doubled down on those claims on Tuesday while tackling a transparently ridiculous assertion that U.S. is taking in $17 trillion because of tariffs. I don't think he ever said $17 trillion. In the petition the Supreme Court filed on Wednesday night, the administration continued its vein, saying that the tariffs are promoting peace and unprecedented economic prosperity and pulling America back from the precipice of its disaster, restoring its respect and standing in the world. This should all be seen for what it is, a tacit admission that the administration is very weak footing on legal matter. The most charitable interpretation of this effort is that the administration is lobbying the Supreme Court to engage in sort of outcome-driven judicial activism that conservatives have a long claim to hate. Oh. Dick Parker says, no juice in this lemon. Quit squeezing me, retard. Well, I wasn't trying to squeeze you, I appreciate the $2, though. Where's my $2? And I will deduct it from the total. We're down to $68 for the second additional hour. I don't, I'm not trying to squeeze anybody, Dick. I'm just, Hey, Vince, how you doing? Glad you could join us. A less generous read of the situation is an effort to politically blackmail the court into giving Trump what he wants. The administration has been pursuing this strategy since the lower courts for months, and so far it's flopped. Some of the administration's most senior officials, as well as the Justice Department itself, have undermined their own credibility in the process. In May, shortly before the three-judge panel on the U.S. Court of International Trade unanimously ruled that Trump's tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act were illegal. Oh. So there's an act to give them emergency powers, and they said it's illegal. Top administration officials piled on the last minute to try to stave off the ruling. Secretary of State Marco Rubio insisted in a court filing that the ruling against the administration would cause significant and irreparable harm to U.S. foreign policy and national security. Yeah, because they're negotiating deals, they're doing stuff, and then you get a court that steps in and said no. So who is running the country? When bold allies and adversaries alike, Representative Jameson Greer claimed that the adverse ruling would create a foreign policy disaster. The ability to protect America's national security and economy of the United States. The court ignored all the fear-mongering, but did not stop the administration while the case was on appeal. Trump claimed last month that a loss would yield a Great Depression. Solicitor General John Sauer and Brett Shumat said that the Justice Department Civil Division told the court the United States was a dead country before Trump took office, and the economic consequences of a loss would be ruinous. Rubio upped the ante and claimed that an adverse ruling would make it harder for the administration to end the war in Ukraine. These over-the-top claims make some sense if you have been following the administration's floundering in the courts. Yeah, but all the floundering that you're talking about in the courts, though, in these lower courts, you fucking clown, all get overturned when it goes up to a higher court. If it gets to a appeals court that doesn't have TDS, they overturn it. Or in the Supreme Court, I mean, I think almost every case that's gone to the Supreme Court, Trump has won. What's less clear is whether this Supreme Court, which has shown Trump stunning deference again and again, will care. Oh, so it's deference, not just deference to the law. Yeah. The tariffs is rooted in basic constitutional principles concerning the separation of powers between Congress and the president. Constitution gives, yeah, but the Congress passed a law giving the president the authority to levy, to do these things, to regulate stuff coming in. Generally used to impose economic sanctions does not contain the word tariffs. Oh, it doesn't contain the words tariffs. No president has attempted to use it to impose tariffs in nearly 50 years since the statute has been on the books. And passed EPA to limit the president's emergency economic powers, not to give him the ability to impose a massive tax increase on Americans. It's not a tax increase on Americans, the tariffs. It's a tax on the stuff coming in. Anyway, whatever. This is a fucking joke. Conservatives cheered the hysteria on when the conservative majority used to toss out the bulk of Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. See, there's a big difference between forgiving loans and charging tariffs for something coming into the country. A model from Yale said that Trump's tariffs will increase inflation costs on the average American household $2,400 this year. Really? Huh. What, did it? No, it didn't. And that they will shrink the economy by $125 billion. Their model estimates the government would raise $2.7 trillion in revenue through tariffs, which amounts to a large and regressive tax on the American people. These fucking lefties are complaining about taxes. They're always talking about raising taxes on everybody. Okay. It says the IEPA gives the president statutory power to regulate imports. How do you regulate imports? Yeah, fucking put tariffs on them. That's how you regulate imports. It effectively gives the president carte blanche to impose tariffs whenever he wants for whatever reason he wants. This may sound persuasive if you don't know, if you know nothing else about the relevant legal framework, but as the Federal Circuit concluded, the mere authorization to regulate does not, in and of itself, imply the authority to impose tariffs. Oh, okay. Well, then what if the president just said, you know what, these countries can no longer import anything into the country? That would be regulating it, wouldn't it be? If he just said, you know what, no more, yeah, bring nothing in. That's it. So he can stop anything from coming in, but he can't put a tariff on what's coming in. Does that make any sense? Moreover, it's not the job of the Supreme Court to save the president. So I just want to point out that because the Constitution gives Congress the ability to regulate interstate commerce, that's the words, they're able to put taxes on it. So if that's how you explore these things. So if the Congress has the power to put taxes on interstate commerce and say you can't do this and you can do that, and that's why they can do the whole thing where the stuff with guns that are manufactured and transported across state lines. Doesn't that somehow mean that if they can't, how are they putting taxes on it? It doesn't say taxes, it just says regulate. So how are they able to put taxes on stuff in interstate commerce? That's what how they're able to tax things. That's how they regulate guns and all this other stuff is because of the Commerce Clause, which gives Congress the power to regulate interstate commerce. But it doesn't say taxes. I think the Supreme Court's going to rule with Trump. Oh, what's it say? Ken Dryden died today. Stanley Cup champ, lawyer, member of Parliament. Color commentary for Al Michaels for the Miracle on Ice. Oh, no way. That was the 84 thing, right? Been waiting for the fun Friday viewers request portion of the show that Jim teased at the beginning of the night. Am I wrong? No, if you guys, I mean, you got something, Rod, you want me to pull up? Trump needs to invent a new executive use of ports fees. Yeah. Okay, well, no, you want to use the ports, you want to bring anything into the country. I mean, that's what's ridiculous. How would you regulate it then if you can't impose a tariff? How would you regulate the stuff coming in? I mean, where's the mentality of that? How do you regulate it? Just say you can't bring it in? Slow it down? I don't understand. I don't get it. So this guy is an idiot. Whoever wrote this. On the legal merits, all this should be sufficient for the Republican appointees on the court to rule against Trump, but there's an added ancillary benefit to them. They could side with the American public at a time when their credibility is in the tank. Also, this is them trying to blackmail the court, telling them you have to do this because you have to do this. The Supreme Court's approval hit yet another all-time low. Chalked up by the Republican appointees' decision to overturn Roe v. Wade and a series of other major victories they've handed Trump since he returned to office. The victories are to the Constitution. I mean, holy fuck, man, these people. I swear. Like this clown. D.C. Attorney General is suing the Trump administration over its deployment of the National Guard in the city. D.C. sues Trump over National Guard deployment. The lawsuit is pure political theater. The Insurrection Act of 2025 grants clear authority to deploy the National Guard forces when local governments fail to secure federal facilities or suppress violent unrest. D.C.'s crime rate plummeted 37% after the deployment. Proof it works. Schwab's grandstanding ignores the 2,400 plus arrests of violent offenders targeting federal personnel during the crisis. The real issue is DC's refusal to protect the Capitol complex from coordinated attacks forcing federal intervention. Well, since DC's all a federal area, I don't see why this is even a question of what it is. You know, they should start by enforcing the law instead of suing those who do. And why didn't he sue Biden after January 6th? Yeah, why not, right? Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another political. DC sues Trump over National Guard. The lawsuit comes nearly a month after Trump's announcement he would deploy federal law enforcement to the city. DC's Attorney General Brian Schwab sued the Trump administration. There shouldn't even be an Attorney General of DC. I really hope, man. I hope that the whole thing, that this all this idiotic stuff actually causes the Supreme Court to look at the DC Home Rule Act and go, Congress doesn't have the authority to do this without amending the Constitution. It's in the Constitution that DC doesn't have any local government. And Congress just passed a statute giving them local government in the 70s. The Constitution is clear that DC does, DC is a federal jurisdiction that's overseen by Congress, administered by Congress. Doesn't have any representation, no local representation, nothing. It's not supposed to have a mayor. It's not supposed to have a city council. It's not supposed to have an attorney general. It would be funny and very what they call a funny turn of events for them to say, you guys are all out of luck now, and just send them back to Maryland. Saying deploying the National Guard infringes on the city's sovereignty. The city has no sovereignty. The city has no sovereignty. And violates the law prohibiting the use of military for domestic law enforcement. Deployment of National Guard troops to police district streets without district consent infringes on its sovereignty. The district is a federal district, and it's overseen by the president and Congress. Holy shit. Deployment also risks inflaming tensions and fueling distrust. Well, see, it's funny. All the reports I see from the people say that they like it and that crime's down. Yeah, they didn't say anything, right? When Biden had the National Guard in D.C. for 9 months to a year after, the first year, and had basically no one was allowed in there, and they had razor wire around everything, concertina wire around everything, and had it all blocked up with fences and didn't let nobody in. Yeah. No American jurisdiction should be involuntarily subjected to military occupation. Wow. This guy should be arrested for being a retard. The lawsuit is the latest legal pushback against Trump's effort to send troops into cities to facilitate his policy goals. It's not even supposed to be a city. It's a federal district. Holy fuck, man. The White House sent a statement. Trump is well within his authority to blow troops to the District of Columbia. The lawsuit is nothing more than another attempt at the detriment of D.C. residents and visitors to undermine the president's highly successful operations to stop violent crime in D.C. Federal judge ruled Tuesday that Trump's troop deployment in California violated laws against using the military for domestic purposes. Yeah, Charles Breyer, a decrepit old shitbag who got judge shot there because he's connected to, the Democrat Party in San Francisco, and Newsom knows him. So, that's going to get knocked back quick, fast, and in a hurry. The case was assigned. This case was assigned to District Judge Gia Cobb, a Biden appointee, the second high-profile Trump case related to randomly assigned to Cobb in the past 2 weeks. Cobb's also presiding over the lawsuit from Federal Reserve Board member Lisa Crook. It's weird, right? Yeah, Lisa Crook, her sorority sister. Schwab argues the National Guard troops patrolling Washington are similarly conducting illegal police work. This announcement comes nearly a month after Trump said he would deploy troops. The provision of the 73 law, which had never been invoked before, gives the president the ability to enlist the services of the city police department for federal purposes during a state of emergency. The law, passed in 1973, is unconstitutional. So there you go. Until Thursday, Washington officials had largely limited their legal action against Trump's attempt to intervene in district's enforcement. Muriel Bowser adopted a somewhat conciliatory approach, but Schwab did sue last month when U.S. Attorney Pam Bondi attempted to install Terry Cole, the head of the DEA, as the emergency police commissioner and instructed him to assume all the powers and duties of the police chief. Federal government and Washington officials quickly reached an agreement at the urging of a federal judge, walking back the order and naming Cole as Bonnie's designee, responsible for directing Washington leaders to provide police department services. Trump has at times declared his intentions to send troops to other cities, including Chicago, to address claims of rampant crime that local leaders reject. You know, don't these people remember there's a precedent for this? In 1957, Eisenhower sent the troops to Alabama, I think it was, right? Yeah. Make sure that James Meredith was able to get into the school in the 101st Airborne. Yeah. And nobody had a problem with that. That was perfectly fine. Kennedy did the same thing when they were doing desegregation stuff. So yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah. Armed soldiers should not be policing, Schwab wrote. The forced military occupation of the District of Columbia violates you have no local autonomy. And you know what? It'd be nice for the Supreme Court to step in and say, you have no local autonomy. Go pound sand. You no longer have a job, Schwab. Bowser had questioned the need for other states to send their guard troops, and she also lamented ICE officers' conduct and mask wearing, but she said the influx of federal authorities has helped bolster the D.C. department's work. You saw videos of walkthroughs showing military Humvees and APCs parked on the streets. Oh, well. So, all right. Well, unfortunately, everybody, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to do. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. I'm going to say I want to thank everybody for being here. I'm going to send you over to MG Law, tell them I said hi, and I'll see you all Saturday night, and we'll do some more talkings. Come on back for Jim to tell you the news.